Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Nice snap, kick is good. Hayward under center, he gets shoved. No signal yet, now it is. Touchdown Steelers. They go on top. Quick snap, Gainwell finds a little room over the right side. Survived a hit. And out of bounds. Trying to go to the air here. Rodgers ends up, got his man. Touchdown, Marquez Valdez Scantling. He's the guy who deserves more playing time. On third down, got it to DK Metcalf. And fighting his way for the touchdown.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
My head's above water, sort of, kind of.
Above water is positive.
Solving life's great mysteries.
What's that?
How far do I let my deodorant thing go down before I throw it away?
Till it scrapes your armpit?
And do I like adhesive or the fabric Band-Aids?
Oh, like the plasticky ones or the
Yeah.
fabric ones? I'm a fabric one for sure.
They fray so easy.
I know, but they're much more flexible on your hand or wherever the
Yeah. As long as you don't,
ailment is.
they do get frayed.
Yeah, I think you have to go through more of them. They're
The
not as sturdy.
deodorant thing, it had the dip in the middle
Mhm.
where you can see the circle, but the edges were still non-scrapey.
Be honest with me.
Yeah.
You've scraped an armpit on a deodorant container before, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, multiple times.
You didn't learn the first time.
Or the seventh, probably. I mean, I'm gonna get my money's worth,
Fair. You know what? I respect that.
you know. So that's how the morning started. That's how the morning started.
Well, it's you could do worse.
Absolutely.
You could 100% do worse.
Juno.
I mean, we're out here. We're still doing it. I know a lot.
I mean, we're out here.
We're out here, right? That's where the magic happens.
Yeah, 100%.
I think a lot of Nebraska fans were having a tough day yesterday. I think.
Why?
Well, it was kind of a confluence of events that I don't think people enjoyed that much.
God, it smells like Cheez-Its.
I am eating some Cheez-Its.
How many bags deep are you already at 6?
No, this is the first one I've opened.
59.
We've got 3 total. Because that's about the calories that I wanted to get in.
Cheez-Its in a C4.
Breakfast of Champions.
Breakfast of Champions. I got you. I definitely got you.
Well, you said I was a little low energy yesterday, so I'm trying to perk it up.
Pick it up.
So I was like, you know what? I can help. I can help this. I got C4. Let's do it.
I got itchy face. I have niacin. I brush my teeth with it.
Listen, it is the niacin that makes your face itchy. You gotta freak out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, so
Well, I think
coming off the volleyball low. The what?
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of like back to back. Felt like stomach punches a little bit. Volleyball loses Texas A&M, obviously, and then had a little announcement from the QB yesterday.
Oh, we're portaling.
That's intends to.
We're portaling.
Nobody's portaling yet. Technically speaking.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's not January 2nd.
Yeah.
Oh, you're exactly right.
Which is just an intention.
Oh, whoops.
It's like a letter of intent. But you're not on campus yet.
Yeah. Dang it.
I'll be honest. I think for most of the last 2 weeks, I kind of thought he was coming back.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't call myself surprised, but I did think he would come back.
Like if you really put me to a prediction, I would have said he's coming back.
I agree. I am in the exact same boat, unfortunately.
So I knew this was a possibility.
We both would be Titanicing.
Yeah, or ocean gating if it were more modern.
Yeah.
Just trying to. Although 0% chance you're getting me on a submarine of any kind, especially not a homemade one.
Did they ever? So those people, we know that they're gone, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They got squished.
Oh,
The pressure ocean.
pressure.
Ding 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 ding.
Oh, you think I'm not? There's an algorithm on my TikTok about. Oh, you think because I've been hanging out with the something, and then like these super homely moms are like going out with their hubbies. It's kind of weird, but they always use this word pressure. I didn't. Is that what the kids say?
I have no idea. I don't spend any time with. Well, I consider the people at work kids a little bit because there's an age gap there.
Yeah,
a lot of them
I'm
are.
sure they appreciate that.
Well, I buy them lunch sometimes, so that's about that's kind of in the same neighborhood.
Oh, do you like a good dad?
Yeah, I'm trying to be the nice old guy in the office.
Yeah, nice. They catch
Well,
you yesterday. Oh no, that was
no,
that was
that
after
was
the show.
that was just here. I saved the good stuff just for you, DB.
I left very feeling good.
You should have felt encouraged.
Oh yeah, go get him.
I felt like I laid out a very clear plan for what you should do.
Yeah. It's cute. It's very cute.
No, but it's no. I have no idea if the kids are saying pressure.
Anyway,
But no, I would have been in the camp of that Dylan was coming back.
I myself is included.
And so,
boy, are we dumb.
Well, I think
I was
there's
being sarcastic.
I think there's times where I'm definitely dumb. I don't think for the information that was out there, I don't think it was unreasonable to think that there was a chance Dylan was coming back. What I do
Until you saw the rash of quarterbacks hitting the portal?
even then, I mean, even maybe more so then.
Yeah, I think the timeline was sped up.
Oh, from what they wanted?
Yeah.
That would maybe make sense.
Yeah, I think it was expedited.
Make sure that you have a landing place.
Well, I mean, how many announced yesterday?
A lot. You got my favorite, DJ Lagway,
Yeah.
is in the portal. There's a lot of people yesterday after the announcement. There's like, Ravi, what are you going to do if DJ comes to Nebraska? And I was like, I'm going to have a hard day.
So he's got to be going to LSU, doesn't he? Does he stay in conference?
I don't know.
Can Kiff can?
I was trying to figure out.
Can he rehab him?
Does he want to?
I don't know.
That's the question, right? Because there's work to be done there. Like, he's not going somewhere as a finished product. I mean, you can make the same argument for Dylan, I would think. But, like, DJ Lagway is not going somewhere and is, like, ready to go.
Uh-huh.
He has to start because he's DJ Lagway. So it's kind of a weird spot to be in, I think. Like, he's going to get paid. He kind of has to start. But I do not think he's close to a finished product. So I'm sure there's a fit for him somewhere that all of that makes sense. But I don't know where that is. Like, that's sort of a unique place to be in.
Lagway?
Yeah, I think you have to have a very specific type of head coach and offense that you want to run that.
Well, what quarterback in the portal that you've seen transcends the system?
I don't know transcends the system, but I don't know what system is best for DJ Lagway.
Yeah,
That's the hard
part. I think
part.
so far, if you put all those top guys in the portal, I think everybody needs some specifics.
I do too. I think I know what, like Sam Levitt, I know what his specifics are. I know what system he can thrive in, right? I don't know what the case is for DJ Lagway.
He's sure probably the most accomplished of what I would call
Levitt?
Mobile quarterbacks, right?
Or Lagway.
Levitt.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's the most accomplished quarterback in the portal. Like, I don't think there's a lot of debate there. Maybe Sorsby. Like, I think you know what type of system you need to run for Sorsby. But I look at Lagway and I go, I don't know what that system is. I guess that's my point, is I'm sure there is a version of an offensive system that fits what he's able to do right now as well as helps him grow. I don't know exactly what that is or who wants to take that on. Like, I think it's a little bit smaller of an ideal market. I'm sure lots of people are going to offer him. That's not my point. I think it's a little smaller of an ideal market for him than maybe people realize.
How much do you think South Carolina's ponying up?
Oh, it's got to be a lot because there's been rumors about him to Miami for months now.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
I saw the little TikTokers.
You got to, I mean, he's probably got to be north of $3 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and again, is South Carolina in a place where, that's good for him as a quarterback in development? I don't really know. It didn't seem like it was this year. Is it a place where that $3 million wouldn't be better used other ways?
Yeah.
I think that's where the question with some of these quarterbacks come in. And frankly, including Dylan. I think that's a fair question for Nebraska's situation also.
Oh, 100%. Like the rate of return?
The rate of return versus the investment. Yeah. Because I legitimately have no idea. You see the number $3.5 million thrown out there a lot. That's the only number I have to go on. So we'll call it $3 million, just because if I think that's what Lenore Sellers is getting, that sort of makes sense.
Okay.
For $3 million, there's a lot you can get for $3 million. That's not a quarterback, right? Let's say you like TJ. Let's say you're like, hey, we're actually really confident that this guy can play next year in Dana's system and be ready to go. So you're not paying top dollar for a new quarterback necessarily. You're going to have to pay TJ, sure. But then that leaves you, I don't know, let's say you go get, just because it's low-hanging fruit, let's say you go get Zane Flores. He wants to come back home and compete for a job at Nebraska. And let's say you go get the Harvard quarterback who is a really good RPO type system quarterback, right?
Everybody likes that guy. Was that going around on social media? Because there's no way people that are talking about him have actually watched him.
Probably not, no.
Although they were on TV twice back-to-back weeks with the Ivy League weekend. This was when we were in State College.
Yeah.
Because actually
you did watch it? I have a weird affinity for Harvard
We've had a
football.
couple of guys go there from the metro area. So anyway.
But let's just say that
everybody was just perusing Harvard film.
Let's just say that's the level-ish of guy. So you're going to pay those guys some, but they're not breaking the bank for you, right? That probably leaves you a couple $1 million to go find whatever you think you need on the roster, which an argument could be made that's better for Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's I think there's a lot of things at play here. Number one, I think the philosophical shift. I'm going to keep going back to this because they won, and so we kind of glossed over it. But I just being around the vibe, I think Minnesota was obviously the catalyst for a lot of philosophical change.
Sure. Yeah.
I think the emotional shift happened at UCLA. And I think it happened for multiple angles. I think so Nebraska figured out, okay, we can play a certain way if we do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even so much about the quarterbacks. This is just my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not even so much about the quarterback style. I'm just going to go back to the free to be me thing.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about it all week. I talked about it during the bye week where there wasn't just the pressure, and it's subliminal sometimes, even as accomplished as Holgorsen is. There was always kind of this underlying thing of, hey, Dylan's this. People think he's that. He's a 5-star this. We have to make sure that we accentuate what the narrative is out there. That's what I think.
That makes sense.
But I've said this isn't like
you've said that for a while. You said that in real time.
This isn't super revisionist, or I'm just like, the whole. And all the breadcrumbs were there, right? Who do we want to be versus who we need to be versus who we can be? Like all those things kept being said, right?
Out loud in real time.
So I'm like, do we feel like in order to take maybe it was protection too? Because I don't know the motive. I don't. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell you.
Yeah.
But I just know, like, nobody's really talking about it from this angle, but I do think it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Just the freedom to just not have to prove a guy's value or worth to anyone. You just go out and play ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they just went out and played ball. And they saw some things. They knew TJ was still young and unpolished and all those other things.
Lots of work to do.
But I think from an emotional standpoint, there was this.
Like, take a deep breath.
Yeah. Just didn't have anything to. Because when you're connected to somebody, it's like I want to put you in the best light possible to keep you feeling good and safe about where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it was, well, he's supposed to be this, and we think he's this, and we think he's this, and we think he's this, and I think they succumbed a little to making sure that was the case, and it's not even Dylan's fault.
No, I don't think it's anybody's fault, really.
That's what I was saying at headquarters during the infamous show, where I'm like, he didn't ask for any of it. It's not what he said outwardly. He didn't like misspeak or why am I echoing? He didn't misspeak or say anything bad about Nebraska. It was just this this thing where when you're not winning and he's the most visible thing and it's a singular idea, he gets the singular focus.
Sure.
So then you try to protect the singular focus.
Yeah.
No. He is developing. He is a good quarterback. He is the 5-star we got. But it wasn't popular when I said it. But I'm like, listen, man, it all happened too fast. The star rankings, the junior year, the senior year, like he had a lot of work to do. But he had the star-studded number and the star-studded last name. So you come with that. Like, that just is what it is. Like, you can't apologize for that. Everybody's happy. And Nebraska was better when Dylan was playing quarterback. You can't I don't even know if there's really an argument to be made there.
They had their 2 best years in a decade.
So you have to set that part aside. But, Dylan didn't bring it on himself.
No, it's kind of just what comes with.
And so
yeah.
Where was I in this free to be me thing? So I'm watching this UCLA thing. And on the other end, like, Dylan and his family have to be watching it too. Right? So however they feel about that, and I'm not sitting here telling you I know because I don't, but just imagine that I'm replacing you and you're watching me and I do well. Right. And people are now talking about me, and there's social media, and it's, I told you, this is what I told you. Like, that's going to wear on somebody that isn't able to participate.
Yeah.
There might even be, and again, this is hypothetical. I'm just trying to give you what I think other people could be thinking. Where you guys want to land the plane with your opinions is fine, because people already have their mind made up. They think they had
yeah.
I mean, so you're going to receive the information based on what it is you think. Let's just say you're an open mind and you're weighing this whole thing out. Where I think Dylan is going to feel a certain way, and if it were me, and I'm 19 years old, and this has never happened to me in college, but maybe more in high school, where I was more of an integral part. Or associated with, whether it was based, whatever. And somebody else was doing what I was doing, that would hurt me.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah. I mean, there's a reason I don't take days off.
So no, I know you told me.
Like, I've been super upfront about that. Like, not getting Wally pipped. Good luck.
Yeah.
Not happening.
It's
like, it's just not.
And I respect like that. Yeah.
Like, so I know exactly what you mean.
You're a grown up.
And
right?
I'm generally overconfident.
So it's like, so there are these dynamics. So then when you have families that share ideas with each other, and because I do think the relationship, now this I know for sure, and again, I'm not speaking on family business specifically, but the relationship between Dom and Donnie as brothers and as part of this 3-prong mafia was grossly overrated.
Yeah, I still don't think they had a lot to do with each other in terms of the decisions.
Like grossly overrated in terms of them always being on the same page, holding hands. Because imagine, man, like, listen, that's my nephew that's not getting rid of the ball. Oh, yeah, well.
That's also your nephew. You're letting get killed out there.
That's also your nephew that's getting hit, too. And then you hear, we'll throw the ball, and then we'll stop calling these plays, and then it's, well, he can't protect tackles. Do you want to imagine the conversations that Dom and Don would have?
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I can.
I mean, what's the longest you've ever gone without talking to your siblings?
Oh, a long time.
Yeah. Was it over something petty or something that could be instrumental in terms of watching a family member get hurt?
Almost always something stupid.
Okay, so would
something
the family
big,
the family member getting hurt or being criticized, would that be petty or not petty?
No, that would not be petty.
That would not be petty.
And it'd be a real thing that I would imagine
that would escalate the tension, right?
Yes.
Okay. I hypothetically.
Yes.
That could escalate the tension.
Yeah, that's not a stretch to imagine.
So, like, I think, and I said this, I'm like, you guys, it's not, this dynamic in managing is not easy. But when your program isn't winning, it's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
It's what you signed up for. You're like, we've got a 5-star quarterback. We've got a chance to change the trajectory of this program. We initially built our roster to make sure that we take advantage of it. Then real life happens.
Yeah.
And it plays out in front of you.
Just as we saw it happen.
And both sides are going to say, like, it's not what either of us signed up for.
Yeah.
It's not what either of us signed up for. Let's reevaluate.
Sure.
And how'd we get here? So the how'd we get here part
Mhm.
is the most important for both sides, because everybody can acknowledge that they made the mistakes. Hey,
Sure.
I did this. I shouldn't have done it. I mean, shoot, that's my life, right? But how'd we get here? Just so we can keep this from happening again.
And where do we go next?
And where do we go?
That's the important part of that conversation, right?
So I think when we have the Minnesota philosophical shift,
yeah, it's a real come to Jesus moment.
and the UCLA emotional shift,
Yeah.
and we finish the season the way we do,
Mhm.
it's going to go something like this.
Sure.
On both sides. This is what I would do.
Mhm.
If I'm Coach Rule and I'm being criticized and everybody's super cynical and snarky in the media, and I've tried it the other way.
Mhm.
I've tried it a multitude of ways. I've been successful a couple of different ways. I'm trying to roll around about this deal. If I'm going down, I'm going down my way.
Yeah.
Swinging.
Absolutely.
It's just how I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
I want to get back to this. I want to get back because I tried this the other way.
Mhm.
I tried the philosophical, hey, let's improve the three front. I really like some of the components we did. The players really liked them. Let's see if we can evolve. Like, that's not like we judge it now in hindsight like that was the dumbest thing ever. When in theory, if we were honest with ourselves,
Mhm.
and we were just like, hey, and year one, this defense looked like this. Year two, we took a couple steps back. We weren't as aggressive, weren't as good a tackling team. Am I making any of this up?
No.
Or is this kind of what we were saying?
Yeah, nobody's rallying to the ball.
Not-
The whole
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Throwing the ball over our head. I don't like the way our secondary's
Mhm.
playing. We're back too far. What else? Can't get off the field on third down.
Yeah.
So if you have some guys that are on and you take some pieces of that, and you can expand because it's smart,
Mhm.
you're inclined to give that a shot.
Yeah, I say, hey, there's I really, really like about if we could fit X and Y about that.
And I
We
know enough about the process that went into that from what I shared with you. It wasn't a very decision.
Absolutely not.
Easy now to go back and say, "Oh, he did it." It wasn't like that, and I don't have to.
It's also easy to look at it and say, hey, from the first 2 years, you can see a place where you would really like some things about that defense.
Yeah, so I think what he's deciding on now
Mhm.
is there's a mentality that I want this building ran in.
Mhm.
I don't want to be the last to know. I've got too much on my plate transitionally. I've never been in this space before. I want people in the building that can make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed at all times.
Mhm.
I'm going to do a top to bottom scan and see where I'm the most uncomfortable and see how I plug those holes.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, while this is happening, you got a family and their son probably thinking the exact same thing, but on an individual level.
Yeah. Try to figure out how did we get here?
How'd we get here?
What's next? How do we get to where we want to go?
Yep. And is there anything when you color in that diagram that overlaps?
And if there's not, do you see what happened yesterday?
Then a guys to go situation.
Or if there's honestly, even if it's just, hey, not enough of this overlaps, right? Because I don't want to say none of it overlaps.
Yeah, just not enough.
Right.
The juice just wasn't worth the squeeze. Because we're not having if Nebraska's, let's just say they win 2 more games, we would reconcile in our head what we've seen, even if it looked the exact same.
Let's say USC and Michigan go their way. We're having a very, very different conversation, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got the 2 ranked wins. You're 9-3. You're in a way different bowl
And
game.
you could have lost to Penn State the way you did, and you could have lost to Iowa the way you did.
And we feel way different.
You feel different.
We
though.
feel a little gross about how it ended, but we feel way different, right?
Yeah.
So that, I think, is a very reasonable, and I don't think attributes any negative motivations to anyone. There is another way to read this, just for if you believe some of the reports that have been out there, there is another way to read this. And the reason I'm going down this path is because I killed a different guy last year for doing what I think this could look like if you believe certain reports. And so I'm trying to be consistent here. Just because I like Dylan, just because I like Nebraska, I don't want to be inconsistent about the way I killed another guy last year for doing something that could seem very similar, and that's Nico Iamaleava, right? So here's, if you want to read it in a more nefarious manner, here's what.
there are a lot of people doing it,
and you can, and it's possible. So this is the.
It is.
I think it's plausible, right? Like, and here, so
no, I don't know what you're gonna say yet,
Yeah.
but I'm saying another way to look at it is plausible.
yes, yeah. And so I think this kind of gives you the spectrum of
where we're at
the spectrum of what could have happened.
Okay.
Right. So if you want to read it in a more negative light, you can start last year with reports that Dylan and family, or whoever you want to include in that situation, were shopping services to try and get a better offer, try and get more money, try and get a better situation, right? You start there. That sounds eerily similar to not just Nico, but basically every quarterback. I don't think that's an unusual situation.
Are you like, hey, if we're gonna go through this and
I want it to be worth this number.
Okay.
Or whatever.
So is this from 1 to 2?
Yes. So this is this is last offseason.
Okay.
So you say, hey, this is kind of what it looks like. Maybe not what we signed up for. For me to continue being here, it probably needs to be worth this number, right? And if it's not worth this number, we're going to explore other options where we can go and not have to feel like we need that number for it to be worth it, right? So that's where you start. Then you move into this offseason and you kind of get this tension, it seems like, between the offensive coordinator or offensive game plan and what the quarterback and the quarterback's family feels like their skill set is. Very similar to the Nico situation last year, where it felt like Josh Heupel wasn't accentuating the things that Nico thought he was good at. You can make the same argument. I think you would make the same argument that maybe Dylan's skill set and Dana's offense aren't a perfect fit, right? That's not a stretch by any means. So you've got the potential shopping around. You've got the misfit a little bit on offense. You've got, I believe, still even a little brother situation between Iamaleava and the Raiolas. Don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but it is a little weird that it happened twice. And then you have this situation where it sort of all comes to a head, and Nico ends up leaving Tennessee. Dylan ends up leaving Nebraska. Here's the other part of this, and I don't know how much this matters, but it did cross my mind, so I'll bring it up, because we talked about this a lot last year with Nico and his dad, because it seemed like his dad was a very visible part of that situation. We've talked about, not just you and I, the entire fan base has talked about Dom and his influence on this situation a lot over the last few weeks. And something you told me last year that I think I knew, but it hadn't really been put to me in such plain English, is that in Polynesian families, a lot of times the father's influence is maybe more outsized than in other cultures. And obviously the Raiolas are Polynesian, the Iamaleavas are Polynesian. And so I kind of put these things together. And it's like, listen, if I was going to kill Nico and his family for the way that I thought they handled the situation last year, if you want to read it in a negative light, there's a lot of similarities between that situation and this situation. So I don't necessarily think that's what happened. But if people read it in that way, I really can't get mad at you for feeling like either A, the family was trying to exploit Nebraska, or was just in it for the top dollar, or whatever your negative conclusion is from that set of circumstances. Because I made that exact same conclusion from Nico last year. And where did I land on that? Do you remember?
Yeah, you're mad.
I was mad, and I wanted Nico to make his own decision. If it was as much about the dad as we seem to think it was with Nico last year, and I don't know if that's the case to the same degree. I'm just making the Polynesian connection there, right? Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. I genuinely do not know. What I will say is, if it is the same, I would have wanted the same from Dylan. And maybe this is what Dylan wants. I don't know. Maybe that was what Nico wanted. I don't know. But if I think the circumstances are similar, I kind of have to treat them the same way.
Yeah, and no, I'm with you, and that's fair. And I think even, with my relationship with Dom or the family or or anybody else in this situation, at the end of the day, I'm riding with Nebraska.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I said this 2 weeks ago. I said it a month ago. I said it last week. I don't care who plays quarterback at Nebraska. I don't. I think Nebraska feels like they're going to be fine either way. And you can say that and think that and still think that they were a better team with Dylan. It doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. But when you ride, if you're riding with the brand, then you're riding with the brand. And I think Coach Rule has to put his money where his mouth is when he says things like, I mean, basically, it's his fiduciary responsibility, man, to put the university, that team's success first. And so if he's going to take a look in the mirror and he's going to evaluate top down, and he said that it's top down, it has to start with the tone that he sets philosophically. And philosophically it's been, hey, I want to be a really good fiscal spender. I was stingy with Pritchett. I was stingy with Spindler. I get the name, guys, but we're going to need a rate of return to or because I'm just addressing your part about the money.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or, listen, this just isn't the standard that we both wanted to achieve, so let's sit down and relook at how we got here. That may have been a conversation that didn't have anything to do with money, but philosophically wasn't the direction you want to go. Because when you say things like,
hey, I think this offensive system, this offensive line deal,
this offensive line deal is not like conducive to how we want to play it, or jump style or pass pro or how we sit, or I just want it to fit better. Because in year one, I told you we were sitting in the lobby at the hotel in New York. This is me, Coach Hogo, and his son, and he was saying the one thing that made it an easy transition, because he had only been there 4 weeks, five weeks, right?
Yeah.
He said the one thing that made it an easier transition was the fact that Donnie and Sat worked in sync.
Yeah, they're on the same page.
So it took a lot of the attention. He didn't have to put it there.
Which I think, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, I think that's part of the reason that Dana sort of stuck with a lot of the things that Satterfield was doing last year.
It is.
Because people asked a ton this year, why aren't we seeing Dana's offense? Why aren't we seeing Dana's offense? Why aren't we seeing Dana's offense? And I'll be honest, I wanted to see Dana's offense too, but
we say that. What is it, though?
I think we just meant like more
I mean, I'm not putting you on the spot. I just hate, like.
So when I say it,
what
what
does that look like?
So when I say it, I do think people mean a little bit more mobile quarterback. I think they want really quick reads. I mean, when I think of an air raid or
we're not doing the air raid though.
I mean air raid concepts. I'm not saying a full air raid offense.
Yeah, but he's not rocking with the air raid.
Okay.
So we're not afforded that luxury. I don't. And maybe that it's like, who said it a couple years ago to us? Was it Amazing Ding Dong?
I'm not sure.
He was like, well, if you guys are going to argue, can you make sure you're saying the same thing? This is how I feel about the starting point with
Dana and the offense.
Like, when we say, when is it Dana's offense, what are we talking about?
What I'm talking about, what I would like to see is
everybody says it.
Quicker reads.
Okay.
Get the ball out faster, a little bit more design QB run, and having some more options and putting
is this like Whedon? Is this Keenum? Is this
honestly
Geno Smith? Like,
for me, I think of my favorite ones are like Keenum and Geno Smith. Case Keenum and Geno Smith. Like if I want a Dana offense and I want it to look like the peak performance of that, I think Case Keenum and Geno Smith. Like those are the guys right off the top of my head.
Okay.
I like that. I think that's what people want when they think, hey, this is the guy we thought we hired. And I think stylistically he was doing something different than that this year.
What's his philosophical offense have anything to do with putting a guy in pistol versus sidecar?
I think the philosophical part of it for people watching, myself included, is it seemed like
that seems to work better, right?
I think so.
Then do that. We don't need historical reference as an OC. And I'm not mad. I'm not like, you got to be able to take this.
because I get sick of this.
Mhm.
I just do.
Yeah.
Because we throw these things out here, and it just becomes like this talking point, and it's like this empty groupthink where we say, well, when are we going to see Dana's offense? Is this, and we imply these things, and I'm like, well, what is it? I just want to know what we're talking about. Now, if you're saying, and if the general or the royal we is saying, I want to do this,
Mhm.
like, just tell me what it is.
So when I say Dana's offense, I mean quicker developing routes. I don't want my quarterback standing back there forever. And I want to get the quarterback to an edge to put the defense in conflict, right? So whether it's on an RPO or a zone read or whatever that is.
So is the assumption when people say that, are you thinking, like when we see these long vertical developing routes like at Minnesota,
Mhm.
right? Are we thinking that's part of what I don't want to make it about me. Does that have to do with the free to be me thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where
Okay.
I land the plane is I think, and that's why I brought up the Satterfield thing, is I think Dana looked at and said, hey, Satterfield's version of what we're doing plays better into what I think I need to call for Dylan, as opposed to this is the thing I've done my whole life and I know works. Let's do that because I think Dylan can do that also. And to be fair, I do think Dylan could have executed that. That's why I think everyone was trying to do the right thing and no one's necessarily to blame and no one did the right thing.
Yeah, so I think that's why UCLA was so telling.
Absolutely.
I think
that's 100%.
I agree. I think watching UCLA caused a lot of feels.
Do you think
on both sides?
Do you think Dylan could have executed that game plan at UCLA?
Yes.
I do too. So I think that's where the conflict came in. Because again, Dylan didn't ask for any of this. I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that.
It pisses me off to no end to hear people say like this. Like Whedon was different than Geno, and Geno was different than Case. It's like those those guys weren't, at least like Whedon and Geno weren't running the ball.
No, but he did get him to the edge a lot and put defenses in conflict.
Okay.
Like he put them on the move, even if they weren't running.
At least you're, a little more specific. But people keep regurgitating it, and it's like, is anybody going to say what they'd like to see?
Yeah. So what I would like,
which is what you said,
yes,
right?
Yeah. So I think that's where the conflict came in, right? Because I think we saw UCLA and we go, okay, that's a game plan I think Dylan also could have executed. And it looked a lot more like we wanted it to with who was calling plays.
Okay.
I think there was that tension, not intentionally. I think there was that tension between who Dana thought Nebraska needed to be, what he felt comfortable with in terms of historically how he liked to run plays and what plays he liked to run versus what he felt like he needed to do to not just accentuate Dylan's strengths, but also like there's a chance you look at Dylan and you go, okay, I think he can do this thing better than the thing I coach well. And I think we also ran into that with the offensive and defensive lines a little bit is, hey, I think maybe these guys can do these things, but that's not what I coach well.
Listen, I think so. I want to go back to something we talked about early in the season or before the season even started.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this isn't one of those things that's hindsight. And I said, this is going to sound strange because I'm not trying to downplay a 5-star quarterback.
Yeah, I remember this.
I said, but the less we talk about quarterback play, the better this team will be.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yeah.
The less we talk about quarterback play, the better this team will be. And I'm saying a couple of things in that. Number one, it takes the family name dynamic out of it because it was unhealthy and it was toxic. We manipulated it, talking about it to drive all these. I mean, that's why Sip lost his mind on the other show, right?
Yeah.
Because the family dynamics it was just getting intertwined into what we wanted to put out there. We see it in this chat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
right? The comments about the son. I mean, just so the less we talked about the quarterback, the more we could make it about just actually what was going on. Number two, that means that you're moving the ball in such a way that isn't so quarterback centric.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this
Absolutely.
team means.
Yeah.
Number three, if you're moving the ball in a way that isn't so quarterback centric, that means you're introducing offensive line play and getting your skill guys involved.
Yeah.
Because I think you had pretty good skill guys.
I agree.
Right? So the more that the quarterback became the discussion of how these guys want to play, it just fueled everybody's fire. If you hated Dylan and you never liked him and you bought into the Mafia family thing, it fueled your fire. If you loved Dylan and you wanted to see better, it was, well, when are we going to see Dana's off? You know, like
Yeah.
it framed the toxic discussions based on what we wanted our vantage point to be. And I'm just telling you, this is on the surface, and I don't know yet because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen new coaches like coaching game, right? So, but on the surface, based on what's said and who I'm seeing being hired, it is there. Even though it's going to be year 4 with this daunting schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It is a grassroots movement because at the end of the day, when it starts flying, man, you got to fall back on resolve and what it is that you're about. And when you don't know what you're about because you have all these different floating ideologies that you're trying to piece together, it just isn't going to work. It's only going to take one drive at the end of the second quarter in the last game of the year for you to fall apart.
Yeah.
Or for you to give up. Where you can't get lined up right on the road and have, 8 MIAs or 8 MAs out of your first 13 plays. Like that's trying to, you're not connected.
Yeah.
So you have to start with connecting everybody in the building. I think that's the most glaring thing and disappointing thing to Coach Rule. Because he knows that onus falls on him. So you know what he's going to do? He's not going to he's not going to sit idle. And he knows, man. It's like people are going to say, well, you hired him. Like, you don't get credit for firing him. And he's going to say, yeah, well, what do you want me to do? Like, just stand down, not try to get better. Like, I understand. I want to win too.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to sulk and not coach? Like, I'm not afforded that luxury.
Yeah, like what are you supposed to do now?
Right? So he has to fix it because it is on him. Right? But it's not like he's sitting around saying, hey, man, 7-5, this is how we finish it. He knows it's not. But he's also not going to eat the meat and then not be able to spit out the bones either and say, you're in back-to-back bowl seasons.
Yeah.
And you haven't done that before. So, I mean, because he's got a young roster and he doesn't want to turn it over.
Yeah, I think he genuinely likes the 90 freshmen and sophomores on this roster.
He doesn't really want to turn the roster over. At his heart, man, he's going to be so pissed. Did I give the Lincoln Riley comment?
I don't think so.
All right, if this ever he's just going to have to be mad. And it's so we're getting off the elevator this is before one of our games. I was talking to him before one of our at high school.
Yeah, okay.
It was like 4:30 and he's doing his thing and I'm picking his brain and we're just kind of yucking it up. I'm in the coach's office and we're talking about recruiting. And he's out on the road and they had a ton of junior college offers out. And I'm just like, hey, man, you guys have been busy and this, that, and the third. And he said, man, it's just so hard. He said, recruiting these kids, you got to get the right kid. You have to get the kids that don't need their trainers or their mom's uncle or their cousin's best friend down the street to come with them. Like, it's hard to find these kids now that just want to play ball. And he said, at this rate, like, I got to get the right guy.
even if it means going 8-4, I'm not going to have the gray hairs, basically of being some of these other coaches. And he named them.
Yeah,
but I'm not.
yeah.
And be selling out. He said, I'm just not doing that.
Yeah, not doing any hand holding.
Just kind of let me know, like, if I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still think, and call me naive, man, I still think that's how they have to win.
I agree. No, I agree.
That's how this team has to win.
I agree.
It is who you can consistently go get. It's a clear target, and you like your development.
Mm-hmm. I agree, 100%.
So I don't have any problems with that. I was actually like, man, got some conviction. I've seen people wilt.
Oh yeah, early.
I've seen a couple.
Yeah.
One we cheer our brains out for still, and he gave in because of the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started talking about ready-made.
Yep.
Need more ready-made, and I'm like, this is what this place does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but
it's hard. It's hard to be patient here.
But here's the thing. And here's the thing. This is why I'm going to ride with him. And you guys can throw out his record against winning teams and all. I mean, all the little comments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rolling with the guy that is going to compete and not give in because it's popular. The narrative is popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like somebody that's going to see it through. And I just think, like, hey, you want to play us. You want a certain mentality in the building.
Mm-hmm.
You went and got it. You want to play a certain way. You've seen this long enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where about how you can offset while you're supplementing getting the skill. You know now. You know what you have to do to be able to hang in there. It's got to be repetitive. It's got to be messy, and it's got to be ugly. So you got to be able to find guys and have guys coach it where it's repetitive and it's ugly and it's messy, and you have to have the result. So it's like that's what you need in the building. Those are the guys you need in the building. Those are the guys you have to go recruit. I'm not mad about 10 guys coming in the high school class if it's the right 10.
Yeah.
Go 10 for 10.
Yeah.
With a roster that has the youth that it does.
And however many guys you end up getting out of the portal.
Then you go 10
supplement
10. Because you've talked about wanting the opportunity to shoot your shot in the portal if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
You just want the opportunity.
You want to be in the game if you decide to be.
Because at the end of the day, he still knows he's got to win to make it attractive. Because how bad do you think he wants a guy that's just about the money?
Oh, 0%.
He's seen that before.
0%. He doesn't want anything to do with that. And neither should we, to be honest. Neither should we.
If I don't know, man.
Because here's the thing that I landed on yesterday when we're doing this whole Dylan thing, right? Is I've got no hard feelings towards him. You know,
as you shouldn't.
Like I don't.
That don't make you a good person. It makes you.
Yeah,
You're an adult.
But I was like, when I say this, I don't mean it as disparaging in any way to Dylan. I just want guys that want to be here, right? I want guys that are about Nebraska. I want guys that want to be here. So if that's not Dylan, cool. Good luck. Hope you do well, right? Go get whatever you're looking for, whether it's money, whether it's system, whatever it is. I don't know. I have no idea what he's looking for. Whatever it is. Good luck. I hope you find it. But I want guys that want to be here. So if that's TJ Lateef, awesome. If that's somebody in the transfer portal, awesome. If that's whoever, if that's Ja'Cory Barney or it's not Ja'Cory Barney, whatever, right? But I want the guys that want to be here. And then we'll figure out a way to win with those guys. Because guess what? The talented guys that don't want to be here, you're not going to win with them anyway.
You're not.
Like, you're just not. We've seen it. How many coaches have we seen do that?
You're just not. That's the one.
Like, how many coaches have we seen do that?
Can I? You know why I rock with Pritchett and I defended him?
Why is that?
Because
he's mean. He scares you?
No, not at all. He was willing to hang in there and take the tough coaching because he knew he had it. He had to add that part, the rigor to his.
He knew it was good for him. And guess who looked really good by the end of the
And
year?
it wasn't. He was
getting killed.
The waste of money, and we had this.
We
and
spent
he's
how
a
much for a
bust.
backup left tackle?
And he came with some. He came with some. He hadn't had a lot of rigor.
Sure. Yeah. But there was a lot of expectations.
And he had a tough coach.
Yeah.
And he had a tough group that asked him to do a lot of things, and he hung in there, and he got better.
Got a lot better.
That's why I defend him.
Yeah, he looked pretty good by the end of the year.
So, like, you can find. My point in saying that is you can find talented guys, but the thing that it's why I asked the same. That's why I asked Pat Stewart and ruled the same question about if you knew you could find an eval ingredient. That is can't miss. What would it be?
Yeah, what are you taking?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to hit on this particular trait 100% of the time.
Pat Stewart said the guy that can function under duress, basically like a nut cutter.
Yeah.
And Rule said he said he's going to take competitiveness.
Yeah.
He barely let me finish the question.
And
I said, oh, you want to think about competitiveness?
Again, I think deep down, those are essentially the same things. If you're competitive, you'll get through. Like, you'll be resilient.
Speaking of ready-made, do you guys want to get to Wyatt here real quick?
Yeah, let's get to my man Wyatt.
As we bring Wyatt up here in about 10 minutes, we are going to have a very special guest. Lexi Rodriguez is going to be in studio here with us. But let's get to our friend Asian Wyatt here. Wants to talk a little Dylan and coaching. What's up, Wyatt?
Wyatt. How we doing?
Was I not the special guest?
You are.
You're always our special guest.
Oh, Wyatt. Nobody says special like you.
Yeah. Well, I want to give you happy holidays, and if you guys want me to, I can sing Dr. Halls if you want.
I don't even know the word. Well, yes, I do. Is it bows or bells?
Bows?
Well, in our accent, it might be a little different.
You don't. Yeah, I don't think you pronounce anything different with a Midwestern accent. What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. So,
Hey, listen.
anyway,
I want you to.
we have something in common. We use that thing that's used to chop down trees when we have a question we want to solicit. So, with you guys, it's
Who's you guys?
never mind.
Midwesterners? Who's you guys, DB?
Yeah, I almost screwed that up.
I don't know what road we're on right now, but it seems pretty adventurous.
Wyatt, I would like you to send us.
Hey, did you read Choose Your Own Adventure books? This would read, say something that could be inflammatory, even though it's a soft landing, or play it safe and not be funny. I'm going to play it safe and not be funny.
And stay employed.
Yeah. But end of journey. What's up, Wyatt?
Wyatt, I will say, I think you should send us a voice memo of you singing your favorite Christmas song. That's just, that'll just be a nice little fun treat.
While you're
between me
telling
and
this
DB.
story, I'm doing the Deck the Halls lyrics. Go ahead, Wyatt. What's
Okay.
up?
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, my question. I might have a potentially like a dumb fan question, but I remember early in the year, I can't remember which game it was, where Rule said after the game that we're not telling Raiola coverages, that we're training him to be an NFL quarterback.
Mhm.
And so my question is that common amongst colleges, or is that a mistake in terms of like benefits to the team overall?
I think in hindsight, it was a mistake.
Okay.
I think it was a mistake. I think we fast forwarded, but that goes back to kind of my free to be me thing, where it's like,
You feel
I
like
get
an
that. That's what
obligation.
there's this subliminal pressure to hit on a 5-star quarterback, right? So you try to fast forward the development, even though his high school career says that he needs time to develop, right? So he was caught kind of in a little bit of limbo, which is why I like to be mad at Dylan. I said this, to be upset with something he said or did is, I think, wrong, because he never said anything detrimental to or about Nebraska. Some of this was just a product of what he was raised in.
Circumstances. I mean, it's just circumstantial.
So it's like, I don't know. But, yeah, I think fast forwarding and giving him the keys in year 2 and like I think that was just a little much, and I think they think it was too now.
Yeah, is that something they're going to do with Latif or other, or do you think they're just going to do it the same or differently?
Oh, it'll be vastly different. I mean, I think everything about this program, even in year 4, is like nitty-gritty grassroots. The young guys will try to build on what they already started with, doing hard things and, and being able to repeat it, because they do have a really good young competitive group. And that's kind of how they've come up. They don't really know any different. So I think they're going to double down on that and then try to supplement it with where they need immediate help.
All right, sounds good.
What else you need, Wyatt?
I can say hi to Shane. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Everybody always says hi to Shane.
Have a good day.
So you remember how you got on me about Penn and Pan and Jen and Jen and what else?
Just me.
Sure. It wasn't just me.
That's true. That's accurate.
Why do I want to ask this question so bad? I don't know if I should.
Go for it.
You can text it to me. You got my number.
You can say something positive.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You can say anything once, DB. Go ahead.
It's no fun over text because I can't hear you.
Yeah, let's do it. Go ahead.
No.
You can say anything once.
No.
Come on, DB.
I'm gonna send you the TikTok, Wyatt.
You sent me an Instagram one already.
I'm disappointed right now.
That's my dude.
Disappointed.
Like that, like.
All right, Wyatt. I'm gonna stay employed just one more hour. Get through this live interview with Lexi, and then I'll be good.
And that wasn't me on Jeopardy, by the way.
Wyatt, we appreciate you.
Incredible.
Hope you have a good holiday season, and we'll talk to you soon. So, to land the plane all the way around here.
Yeah.
The situation you described with Dylan coming in, highly touted, highly talented, probably not ready, is the same situation I was describing about DJ Lagway as a transfer portal option. Highly talented, highly touted. You have an obligation for it to work out with him. Probably not ready yet. Now, I think Dylan has progressed in 2 years way more than DJ Lagway has.
Was it D.L. Hughley that had the skate? Wasn't ready.
I think it was.
I think there's...
You wouldn't know. You don't watch the brothers on television.
2 years difference. I think there were a lot of similarities between Dylan's initial recruitment and DJ Lagway's now.
Lagway.
We're going to talk to Lexi Rodriguez in studio coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
I mean, I think it started with our serving and passing, and I don't want to like mispronounce her name, but number one, their middle, like she's a great serve, and she caught us on that for that run. So, I mean, I think we worked all season on being first to 5, first to 10, first to 15, and so on, and we weren't able to do that with her serve. And I mean, credit to her, she's a great serve. So, I mean, yeah, like we really take pride in serve and pass, but I think it caught us up a few times. Oh God, I mean, in moments like that, I feel like most of us probably aren't even thinking, like we're just going back to the basics, and we're all hyper competitive, and I've never actually been in a situation like that with going that far. So, I mean, it's hard, but at the end of the day, like whoever was going to win that set had more will, and obviously they took it in the 5th, but I think that set showed that we weren't going to just let them take it from us on our home court and in our gym. And it obviously didn't turn out the way we wanted, but I think we showed a lot of fight, and that's something to be proud of.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Just two really special individuals. Getting Kiara to come back for the 6th year allowed us to have the run that we had. Not even just, again, her play is really, really good, and I think she's one of the best middles in the country. But what she does beyond that is so much more important to our program. Best leader, best captain, does everything the right way. I know she jokes about being the team mom, and she really is. She's still, even in her 6th year, is making sure everyone has the right jerseys and spandex and all those kinds of things. And but also brings so much joy and all those things. And then Ava is just, man, the way she plays and competes is a pleasure to watch. I mean, sometimes in practices and film, the amount of times like my mouth drops watching her play is she's just remarkable. If this is her last college game, I'm excited that she was able to go on this run. Excited to watch her play at the next level. She's earned this opportunity.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Central Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. We are joined now by Lexi Rodriguez, former Husker, and maybe more importantly today, co-founder of SheSports. Lexi, how are you this morning?
I'm great. Good to be here.
Wow, you got a voice for radio.
Do I really?
The raspy thing.
I got a good rap.
That works, because even in post games, I was like, oh man, she's moving to kind of captaining things out there. So I always thought like you lost your voice.
Yeah.
No,
that's all natural.
Organic.
Okay,
there you
all
go.
right.
It's perfect.
Off to a decent
It's
start.
better than my voice for radio, but that's okay. Lexi, can we talk a little volleyball first?
Yes.
Is that okay? Because I know I want to ask. I know DB wants to nerd out pretty hard here. I'm going to be a little bit more like 30,000 foot view because I'll be honest, I'm not the expert DB is. But I was curious. I'm sure you were watching Nebraska all year and this weekend. Like one of the things I kept thinking about as I'm sort of processing what happened, right, is obviously you come to Nebraska to win championships. Like that's the point.
Yeah.
And the expectations are there as well. But how do you kind of balance having these amazing seasons year after year after year, even when you don't end up winning the title, like the expectations versus like, hey, there's still a lot of joy to be found in what we did accomplish?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is finding like that accomplished feeling in the moment. Obviously, when your season ends and all you could think about all year long was getting to the Final Four, winning a national championship. Like sometimes everything under that just washes away and it doesn't feel like a great accomplishment. But once it's over and you're able to actually look back on it, like I'm a year removed and it still sometimes is painful, but I'm able to say like the things we did while I was there and the records we held and everything like that is honestly far more amazing of an accomplishment than winning a national championship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, sorry.
No.
I think about Volleyball Day in Nebraska, right? Like, yes, would have been awesome to win a national championship, but you guys accomplished something that's literally never been done before.
Exactly.
Like there's a different level to that, even if it maybe isn't the goal you set out for.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. This is hard.
Let it rip, man. Go for it.
Because at my core, as a as a former athlete, I like the emotional stuff, the mental aspect. So you were part of these historic runs, and some would say like our stream. I mean, they're like give you GOAT status, if not one of the best players ever. Certainly one of the most accomplished, right? And decorated. So when you look back, people will hear you say, "Hey, it's incremental, right? We accomplished this, we accomplished this, we didn't get this." And sometimes when people hear competitors talk like that, they it's almost like, come on, like you're just looking for a safe landing spot. But when you're wired to win and it's so outcome driven, you have to find a healthy balance. You're still in this thing. How difficult is it?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even lie. It's probably one of the most difficult things. Like the loss itself is like one thing. Like, yeah, it hurts and it's like painful in the moment, and you just like you really just want to like go back and change it. But like I think the hardest part is like the days after, and like just like that almost like identity crisis a little bit. And like
I'm 50 and I still have it.
and like for me, like my senior year, like that, I can't like sugarcoat it. Like it was really hard, and like going straight into a pro season, like I was at a complete like, what am I doing? Like
That's
like my
interesting.
whole past like 5-6 years, even because I was recruited when I was young, so it's like my whole like a decade of my life was like Husker volleyball. I want to win a national championship, and then December, whatever, 2024, it just ends and it's out. I moved out. I start a new team. I'm never going to like wear a Nebraska jersey again. So I think that was like, especially when it's your last year, like it's really, really hard to cope with. But at the end of the day, like as an athlete, you got to move on to the next thing. You can't really like sulk in one moment for too long.
I am a little bit of a volleyball honk. I'm the guy that at one point said Andy Jackson may be the best athlete on Nebraska's campus, and I don't care what the gender is, right? Like I just kind of my reverence. So you're watching this team on like it play out. It's playing out real time. You're talking about depth. I mean, you were the glue, right? I mean, the captain. Well, I mean, you gotta allow me to say some nice things. Like when it was go time, man. It was where's Lexi? Now this team was different, right? Built with a lot of different pieces. Some will probably point to Bergen. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of movable parts. And we saw that work throughout the course of the season. When you get to a certain stage, does somebody have to be the bell cow, or is it team specific? Do you like a go-to in situations like that, or do you see something like what this team is doing work from wire to wire?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think when you like this team, I think had so many people who could be that. And I think maybe it was like, okay, we maybe just need like one or two people who can like really step up in the moments and like not put it on like, oh, some people are going to have good days and bad days, and whoever shows up today, like it's going to work out. Like I think you need to kind of have some people that you can really rely on. But on the opposing side, like it's not beneficial to have like one go-to all the time, because there's days where people are off, and like obviously you don't want to have a bad day on like an important one or when it matters the most, but like it happens. It's sports. Like you're not going to play good when you want to all the time. And so I think having that balance is really important, and having like maybe one or two people who, when the time is like coming, you're like, okay, I know she's game time. Like she's gonna bring out her biggest weapon like when it matters the most. I think that's valuable to have.
When you're talking about you're watching this game unfold, and I remember talking to Coach Cook when we were on like campus, and him studying like the men's game and taking time away and kind of reinventing himself. And you know, I think he'll tell you that Lauren kind of made him a little, I wouldn't say soft.
Softer.
Yeah, okay, you can say it. Thank you.
I would say laid back, maybe a little.
It's such an explosive game, right? I talk about Andy all the time, right? And you see all this pin hitting, and like it's outstanding, right? But are you surprised that at its core, it's almost like football, right? It still boils down to blocking and tackling. Are you surprised that it still boils down to serving and passing, as explosive as this game has gotten?
A little bit, yeah. Just because, I mean, if you look at the men's game a little bit, like you mentioned, it's very different from the women's game. And, like, yes, serving and passing is still really important, but I think it gets a little, like, put to the side a little just because of how, like, physical they are. And, like, sometimes it's like, okay, if you don't have to really pass really good, if you have someone who has this vertical out of the gym and, like, whatever. But, like, with women's games, like, especially when you get down to, like, you're playing a team just as physical or just as, like, has just as many key pieces as you do, like, it does come down to those little small pieces of serving and passing.
What do you think? What makes passing so difficult, in your opinion?
Oh gosh, I think one part is like
it's the equivalent to saying just tackle him. It's like,
just pass it.
just pass
the
it.
ball. It's so
right?
easy.
Isn't it weird how we're very
Like there's some moving parts here.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I would say there's like two things. Like obviously just like good servers, the speed, the movement, like being able to track it can be like really hard. There's not a lot of time. And then I think the second thing is like the mental piece behind it. Like it's you and the ball, and like you're watching someone eye you down at the end line, and you're like, okay, this ball is coming to me. Like it's the only really like slow piece of the game where like everything else is like you're not really thinking. Like you're just reacting, you're jumping, you're like, I don't know. It's the only piece where it's like, okay, I'm sitting in serve receive for 15 seconds, like waiting for this.
There's
ball
like
to come to me.
anticipation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit piece of both. Like, yes, it's a really hard skill. It's very, very technically sound. Like you make one mistake and the ball's in the stands. So I think there's two pieces to it.
I'm curious. DB insinuated a little bit about John Cook from kind of where he started to where he ended up. I'm curious over your time at Nebraska. Talked about maybe him getting a little softer, a little gentler. How
you could see it?
How,
yeah.
I was in real time, did you kind of experience, and what was that like experiencing him sort of changing as a coach and as a person?
Cool. It was really cool to see just because, I mean, the shift was when like Harper's class came in. Obviously, I'm sure you guys saw his more like
a lot of TikToks,
a lot of
TikToks,
and just like his maybe more like sarcastic side of him in press conferences, and that definitely came with like the integration of Harper, Andy, that class. I think he had talked to like Merritt and I that he knew he kind of had to change a little bit just with like the way that these girls have been coached and the way that like everything is changing within like, I don't know, society, and just the way you kind of have to go about things. And he knew that that was coming. And so I think from my freshman and sophomore year and going into like junior, senior, like two different John Cooks, but it was really cool to see just because a lot of coaches aren't willing to kind of put in that work to adapt and to maybe change their coaching style a little bit. And he really was for the benefit of the team.
I think it's really interesting that it felt like it was intentional on the front end on his part, not a reaction to, oh, they're not receiving a certain style of coaching. Well, he knew ahead of time that you're like, oh, I recruited this type of player. I need to coach them this way.
Yeah.
That's super interesting to me. I don't think I ever would have anticipated that.
I know. It was really cool to be on like the other side of like, oh, okay. Like, and he would like talk about the things he was going to do and incorporate.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, like this is going to like, I think we knew like, okay, this team's going to be a lot different than what we had like my sophomore year. And so, yeah, to see him kind of be the leader of that was really cool.
I ask a lot of successful people and successful coaches because it seems, and I've talked about this for years, volleyball is one of those rare sports. It used to be hockey, but I see some misses now. It's almost like when you talked about being recruited early. There's so many, like, people don't miss when they evaluate volleyball players when it comes to offering scholarships early. What makes it such an exact deal? Like, you're pegged early, and it's just like, okay, they get to campus, and it's like, God, like,
They actually are that good.
Yeah, it checked out.
what? And I'm not saying it's not can't miss. It just seems like it does.
The hit rate's way higher than other sports, it seems like.
Why?
I do maybe want to get into coaching, so I'll have to figure this out at some point. But I don't know if you talked to Jalen Reyes, our assistant coach, but he's kind of like
he's
really
the recruiting guru. Yeah,
he's
the recruiting guru.
Yes. And I've like picked his brain about it like a lot, and like I think a lot of it comes down to, like, for hitters, obviously, there's like certain things, certain mechanics where it's like, okay, if you are taught at a young age how to hit a ball and generate power, like that's not going to change. Where like some people aren't taught maybe the right way. And then once you get to college, it can be really hard to change that and really hard to produce more power. So I think for hitters, like that was one thing I've kind of learned from him is that like if you have the right technique, like Harper Murray, for example, Andy Jackson have beautiful picture perfect arm swings. And it's like, okay, you can get them stronger and they're just going to like keep doing the same thing with more power. And so I think that's like one of the things. And the second component I would say is like the ability to read the game. And I don't know how the coaches can see that, but like when you watch people and it almost looks like they're doing things in like slow motion, like they make it look easy. And Jalen had always said, like, we're just looking for people who like make the game look easy and not like make like all these crazy things or whatever. Like there's an extent to like being athletic and like just being able to see the game.
So this maybe kind of morphs into SheSports, which is part of the reason, most of the reason why we have you here. I'm just nerding out over these kinds of things, though. But so if you have to pick something that's not physical, and you want to play in 2026 going forward, you said you want to coach, right? So you're looking, you're looking for, if you're gonna pick an attribute that you can't see, but you'd like to be able to recruit, and you want to be successful at the collegiate level, what's the attribute?
Like, so non-volleyball.
It's not height. It's not arm angles. It's not serving velocity. What's an intangible?
I would say probably two. I would say like teammateship, especially for volleyball. Like I know some sports, maybe it's like you want someone who's like real nitty gritty, like competitive, but in volleyball, like you need every key person to like come together to get one result of a product. And that's, I think, really unique about volleyball.
Interesting.
And so like you really have to find people who like fit into the culture, the team vibe and stuff like that. So I think like teammateship and being able to tell like, okay, who on the court is like a good teammate coming into the huddles, like communicating with their team, like doing stuff like that, because that's important in this sport. And then I would say the other one is like how they bounce back from failure. Because at a young age, resiliency. Like at a young age, if you're taught like, okay, I just shanked a ball, and then the next one, like I'm looking my teammates in the eye and then I dime it. Like just seeing that, like being able to be like, oh, okay, this person's like a baller. Like they in high pressure moments, like they're going to be able to stay composed.
Kiddos, you hear that? Be resilient.
So
not always rainbows and butterflies.
You brought up something there that I think is really interesting, because we talk about this a lot with different sports, because me and DB are weirdos. But so we talk about like failure rate in sports a lot, and like an individual plays. So as I never played volleyball, but we talk about baseball, huge amount of failure in baseball. You have to be able to be resilient and get past it, right? I like to play tennis, huge amount of failure in tennis. You got to move on to the next point, get past it. How much is, you talk about resiliency, do you think people appreciate how much failure on a point-to-point basis volleyball players experience during a single match? Like how many times you have to be like, oh, screwed that up, got to get right back to it. Like, because if I'm just watching it, until you said that right there, I had never really thought about it. It's like, oh yeah, they probably do things they didn't want to do a million times over the course of a match.
Scoring.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
do you think people
every point's a mistake usually?
Do you think people appreciate how much that is a part of the game and how much that actually occurs?
Yeah, I think it's like just how there's always something happening, and it always ends with like someone's doing something good, but someone is also doing something bad, and it's always like that's what makes it, I think, so like competitive and entertaining. But I also think like to your like point of like the standard in volleyball is like even within those rallies, like there are things that like we're failing at during the rally that we have to like, okay, like this ball is coming back. Like, how do I do it better in this? Like before the point
at the out of system stuff.
Yeah, the out of system stuff. Like there's just, it's so precise,
Yeah.
and you have to get locations like to an exact point to almost like make things work.
Because you can fail in the moment and still have a chance to win that point.
Yes, exactly. So it's like that constant battle of like, oh, I just effed that up. Sorry, but
No, I mean,
we're not on the radio. You can say whatever you want.
Say whatever you want.
like, but we are still like in the point. Like,
Yeah.
I still have this a second and a half later to like make up for it. But then it's like vice versa. Like, you could mess it up and then lose the point. So it's just like there's this constant like you just gotta live in the next point. Like,
just
you
keep
really
going.
can't focus on like what just happened.
There are so many. I played in the early '90s, and there are so many rules changes in the game of football that I'm like, oh, I like that. Oh, I don't like that. Can you imagine ever seeing your sport without rally scoring? Like, I think there's a lot of new rules, right, and a lot of replay stuff, but I think rally scoring changed.
One of the most fundamental changes we've seen in like a major sport kind of ever, right?
I mean,
I know. I couldn't imagine
only being able to
playing.
score when you serve.
Yes, that would be crazy. Like, think
Honest-
about
it sounds terrible.
think about the game.
Yeah.
Like, when they were going 37-35,
Yeah.
it was just side out. Like, no one was really until 37-35. Like, no one had gotten a point when they were serving. So like, I could not imagine how long those games were. Wow.
Especially with how good people have gotten now.
Yes.
Like, scoring would be almost impossible.
Yeah.
At what point of the match points were you like, oh boy, this may not go well?
In the 4 set?
In the 4
Yeah,
set?
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Where would you rank that set? In your short tenure.
I've never been in a match that long. Never. And even listening to Harper, like, I wasn't sure, but even she was like, I don't think I've ever been in a match that long. Like, it just, obviously I've been in extended matches and vital times where it's like must win sets. And like, I can't even like put myself back into that position, because it's almost just like you kind of black out. You're just like, your body takes over in that moment. And it's like, there's no like thought. It's just like,
Well, that's interesting, because you'd think you'd be fatigued.
yeah, I don't know. Like, you
almost have to like disassociate a little bit, right?
a little bit. And it's like usually in the beginning of sets, it's like you have so much thought, but then like once things really hit like do or die, it's like the adrenaline, everything. It's just like, okay, like, I'm not going to lose. And you could see it from both teams.
Yeah.
It was like relentless. Like, they were not going to lose the set. But
I don't even know if there's a comp.
Yeah, I really don't.
PKs, maybe?
I mean, I'm a tennis nerd, but like before they did the tie breaks, when you would go and you'd keep playing the games in major finals, like there's one with Roddick and Federer and like 08 Wimbledon, where they're just going back and forth on service games, that it just keeps going. And you're like, somebody has to, somebody has to win at some point, right?
You could tell they were spent, right? The body language, but maybe it's that place that they could go to that you're talking about, where it's like,
disassociate. You're like, okay, my legs are exhausted, but like something's keeping me going. But yeah, I would say in between, it was like Nebraska had always had the set point, and then it like switched to A&M around like the late 20s maybe.
25, 26.
A&M had the set point, and I was like, oh crap. I like stood up. I was starting to sweat. I was like, this is not good. This is not good. And then they like brought it back. And then I was like, okay, the momentum's coming.
They had to save the 3 match points.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could tell how loud it was. I was like, okay, they're going to close this out. I could feel it.
It may be too fresh, but at what point did you appreciate A&M's mental toughness?
Oh, man.
Was it when they jumped on them early in
honestly the first couple sets?
Like, I'm just curious, like, when did you think, uh-oh, they're here for the long haul?
So they went up 2 sets, and I was like, okay, I think everyone's going to give Nebraska their best shot. It's something we've always said. Like, they're the number 1 team in the country. You're going to get the best from someone. And I was like, okay, they'll have a chance to reset. They'll come back. Like, they'll be fine, is what I was imagining. I think everyone was imagining. But, like, obviously, like, A&M has been in a lot of 5-setters, a lot of, like, big matches this year, like, close matches. They've won, they've lost some, whatever. And so I think I kind of, like, could see, like, okay, they have 9 seniors. Like, they're not just going to lay over and give it to Nebraska. Like, it's going to be a battle. But I think, being able to walk into an arena like Devaney and someone's home crowd like that, and
you could tell they were confident from the right off the rip.
It was pretty cool to see, and special for that team. I think just never being to not being to a Final Four in a really long time.
Ever. I think ever.
Like, it was really cool to see, honestly. But just sucks that it had to be against
Right.
Nebraska.
It's like they
All
could have
right.
been playing Kentucky or somebody. Come
Yeah,
on, man.
exactly.
We got to talk about SheSports,
Absolutely, yeah.
right?
Yes. Let's do it.
yeah.
I love volleyball.
Why? Again, it's part of your. It's got to be part of your personality,
Yes.
right? You're just an ambassador, and not just an ambassador for the sport, but ambassador for women, right?
Yes,
Like that's
yes.
pretty.
Trying.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about it. What birthed the idea?
Yeah, well, like my co-founder, this has been in the works for like 2 years. So when I was in college, obviously, I think it was after the Memorial Stadium game when we were like, wow, like volleyball has such a like power that can, it can reach so many people, so many young girls. And so we kind of like planted the seed a little bit. And I was like, okay, yeah, like we'll see, like we'll keep talking about it. And then obviously once my college career ended, he was like, okay, like let's actually see how we would want to put this together and what it would actually look like, and kind of had those conversations about the important pieces to put in it and how we want to incorporate like college athletes and stuff like that. And then it just started to come together. And then, we were contacting athletes and making sure we had the right resources in the app. And then it all just came together.
So tell us about what the app is and what your goal is for it, right? Because I know it's not really a social media platform, but it is a place where people can go to and sort of share some experiences.
Yeah. So it's not social media, but it's a content platform where we have NIL athletes, basically, female athletes that are able to post content of their own, or the users on it can like ask these athletes questions. And then it's supposed to be that more like relatable, personable piece where they can like ask these athletes like direct questions about real life scenarios and situations that you don't always see on social media. And I'll like firsthand, I'm not going to share my deepest, darkest secrets on like social media, but if these young girls are coming to me like on this app with help, like they need help, they need feedback, they need advice, like I want to be able to, this is a place where these athletes and these young girls can go, and like that can all be a collaborative piece. And I think it's been really good so far, and to see just all the like, a lot of the questions are behind like mental fitness and confidence and stuff like that. I think it's going to be important for like the years coming. But I think our goal, to answer your other question, is to just make this more like nationwide. Like right now we're just
pretty
focused in
local.
Nebraska. Yeah.
Shoot, I had a question, but listening to it's a good thing I try to listen. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Because you're young, especially in your like the business space. I know you dabbled a little bit in the NIL world, but as decorated as you are, as successful as you've been, all the accolades. I mean, top 1% of winning some awards, right? It's there, and everything else is here. Yet, how quickly you want to connect with here, where and if you're not on the stream, I'm talking about back in this 99.8 space to be relatable.
The rest of us, the normies.
Interesting how you never really allowed yourself to get to that 0.001% from what your passion is. You stayed in the 99.99 to give back immediately. That's fascinating for your age.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know. I just think my whole
You do know how easy it would be to leave us 99.9%ers. I'm being honest.
I mean, okay.
She's 1 year removed from the game of college. It is.
I understand that. I don't know if us and like us are the same people. Like 2-time national champion, 4-time All-American, bad NCCAA college basketball player. So like us, me and Shane are different from you two. I just want to make that clear.
I'm just trying to go back and put. Can you like post Orange Bowl, whatever? I'm like, oh hey,
ain't nobody tell me nothing.
I think like
I want to invest in other. I want to invest in other college athletes. There's like no way.
Yeah.
I think for me, like a lot of my career, and like still, it's hard to kind of grasp my head around out there.
The 0.1001%.
It was like really mind blowing. Like I didn't understand why like these things were happening to me, kind of, and like I understood I was doing well on the court, but I was like, really, you guys
we're
think
talking we're talking rarefied air.
That's like the
But, like,
it's
it
like
was-
the biggest understatement. It's like, oh, I knew I was doing well.
I knew, but like seriously, like you ask even my coaches from that time, like I didn't always like believe that I was like that deserving, and so like yeah, it was really cool, but I was never gonna get to a place where I was like stepping in that, and I'm like, this is me. Like
Yeah.
there was just so much more that was like put into it, and I knew I wasn't like doing it alone. And then I think at the same time, like at Nebraska, you're kind of given this amazing platform. And then I was always at like a crossroads of like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I just going to post me dancing on TikTok for like the rest of my life? Or like, what am I going to,
Yeah.
like, what am I going to do? And so I think like when I was kind of having these conversations with him, I was like, if this is what like I imagine it to be, like, this is kind of exactly what I want to do with like my platform and like to give back, if I'm being honest.
So I know mental health is a big part of the goals of this platform, right?
Yeah.
You've got mental health experts that will be part of it, making content as well. And it makes me kind of think back to a couple years ago, one of your teammates, Harper Murray, who we saw handle herself with incredible maturity and growth in this past weekend. But she experienced a lot of really difficult things on social media after that postseason, her freshman year, right? Did that factor in any way, like seeing that up close and personal, to being like, oh, we've got to do better than that?
I think a little
Even
bit.
recently this year.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a little bit. Like, obviously, we were already kind of talking about
Sure.
it, but then like seeing that and just seeing one, how terrible, honestly, people can be online.
Yeah.
And to like these young athletes who are 17, 18 years old, like they don't know what they're doing. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, it's such a vulnerable place. And then when you're in a spotlight like that, and like, I don't know, I don't think people understand, like, it's not an easy place to be in where like everyone's always watching your move every single second and like judging and criticizing or praising, like whatever it is. Like it's a lot to handle, especially when you're that young. And so I think like, yeah, that's a big part of it, is that it's only going to get bigger in the world of social media and everything like that. And so like these young girls, I think, deserve a space to kind of figure that out and figure out how to deal with not just that, but like their own like confidence and everything like that.
As you can tell, we're professionals. We probably should reset this talking with the great, accomplished Lexi Rodriguez, who is still great, but a former Nebraska. Do you want me to say Cornhuskers or do you like Huskers?
It doesn't matter to me.
I'm a Huskers
what do
guy.
you say?
I'm a Huskers guy.
I like Huskers.
He says Skurs. It drives me. It makes me.
I'm versatile.
crawl.
You know?
Former Skur, like, is that what you would say?
Not in that context.
Yeah, four-time All-American. I won't even get into the awards. We only have another 2 hours. So, like, when you're operating in this space, I watch the interaction all the time, right? A couple of your teammates grew up right here. I watched them play. I love volleyball to begin with, and I would watch you with your team. I'm big into this with like Coach Bolton baseball. I like the interaction. I like how guys. You talked about the huddle, so then I was like, ooh, you want to be a good team, because I talk about it all the time. I coach at the high school level, like being a good teammate. Not everybody can lead. Sometimes you have to follow. I would watch you direct traffic, and you talk to players, and sometimes you guys would like trade off who would do the talk. I would watch you and Laney all the time because you appear to be polar opposites. Like it just from the like.
We balance each other out.
Laney
for
was
sure.
all over. You know, she's really excitable and sure, and you just I would watch the mannerisms, and I'm like, okay, so there's a natural gift there. At what point did you were just like, you know what? I'm going to share this with the world in this female space because I think I don't. Did you think you were good at it, or did it just come natural to you?
Like leadership?
Well,
like...
I mean, just to make yourself vulnerable, like because
Oh.
the people don't get that aspect when you lead.
Yeah.
They
I would
think
say-
it's like just this
Position of strength, but there's
but
a
it's more
vulnerability there.
vulnerability.
Yeah.
As I'm watching you kind of orchestrate the whole deal.
I think that was very organic to me.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
nice.
I don't exactly know why, but I think like leadership was really hard for me. And I was a captain my sophomore year with Maddie Cubic, Kenzie Knuckles, and I was like, I think I was just captain. I think they were just trying to like really build me to be a captain for the next coming years. So I was more there to, I think, learn and stuff. And like have never been a very like vocal, like I'm the person who's going to speak up in like team meet. Like I was just never that person. Like I was very much someone who's just going to like sit, observe, and like if I needed to like say something, it was going to be very like one-on-one or something. Like I just never had like a really big voice, and Coach Cook was trying to build that through
Yeah,
my
because
time
nobody's
there.
believing that right now. I'm just telling you.
Like I was a mouse. Like I did not speak. And so I think it was like really hard for me because I was around these amazing leaders who just could vocalize everything. And so I think that's where that came into like that vulnerability piece was like, okay, I maybe don't have the voice to like hold someone accountable in this direct moment, but like maybe I can connect with them and like give them the feedback in a different way. And I think that's kind of where that started is I was like, I know kind of my strength and it's not this, but like maybe let's try and channel this and use that. And I think through my time there, like I really embraced that and was like, okay, this really is my strength and I'm going to like try and help this team and use it as much as I can.
Is there anything about SheSports that you want people to know that we've missed?
Oh
I
gosh.
think the free part is cool.
Yeah. I
Free
mean,
is
it's
good.
Free,
Free is
Yeah,
always
we're
good.
not-
Free is good.
Yeah, free is so good. Come on. I don't know. I think like for like parents' sake, like obviously like the kids probably want to interact with these athletes, but like I would want parents to know that like this is like it's free, it's safe, it's moderated, and it's just a place where their kids can hopefully go to get some advice, get some empowerment, and kind of help them in not just their sport, but hopefully just in life in general.
And the cool thing is the access, right? We so sometimes we've made fun of certain players that have an affinity or grew up having a likeness or an appreciation for older players. No Mahomes jokes, please.
I didn't say anything.
But it's freeing to know that it's okay to have access to people of significance that are accomplished where you can kind of emulate and get advice if you'd like to in a healthy format, right? Like you know where I'm going.
But I think it's huge because like even when I was younger, but I'm sure like watching people when you guys were younger, like you don't have an understanding of like how they're doing what they're doing. Like it's like, oh, they're like so untouchable, they're so out of reach, but like
You feel so far away.
so far away.
Yeah.
So like, oh, I could never be them. And
Big 3 doors down guy.
and maybe some people are like, oh, I'm gonna be the next Patrick Mahomes. But and like that's great. Confidence is awesome. But I think just like that access to like knowing the ins and outs and knowing like everyone struggles, everyone has issues with confidence at some point. Like some people's styles are different. Like just having that access where they can ask these questions and kind of be like, okay, this is what it's gonna take. This is how they manage these things. And if I can incorporate this when I'm 12, 13 years old, like maybe I can actually.
Yeah, because it's 8 to 18, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so you have the micro events. How about like you guys are rocking gear now? Like
yes.
Who does that?
The merch looks pretty
Are
good.
we really doing the whole merch?
The merch looks pretty good.
Way to hit the ground.
I know. This was a shock to me, but yeah, we partnered with Hurrdat and they have our like merchandise line. So yeah, it's all on the website if you want to get your new gear.
What website would that be, Lexi?
Oh gosh. I think do you have the website?
Sasha, what website is it? Where can they get the merch? Hurrdatbrandgoods.com. There we go.
You rock it every day. I was giving you the easy softball.
I didn't know where. I didn't know.
19 hats, 34
I do.
sweatshirts.
I've got
She's
so many.
got the vest.
I've
I'm a
got
big vest guy, too.
Omaha
That's my
hats
favorite.
in every color.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. All right. We
Well,
gotcha.
Lexi, thank you so much for joining us. This is a super cool thing that you're doing here. Can't wait to be a part of it as Hurrdat, and
Use
can't
us.
wait to see what this
people.
looks like and anything we can do to help. This is kind of a thing that we very much appreciate as well and talk about on the show all the time. So anything we can do to help, please let us know. But I'm sure it'll be an incredible experience for everybody involved. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
You guys know how I feel about mental health and the aspect it plays in athletics. So this is a beautiful thing for us. It's a natural fit.
Lexi Rodriguez, not former Husker, always a Husker.
Thank you.
Always a Husker and co-founder of SheSports. We will be right back with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
Well, she's watching Sam Hoiberg. I mean, I don't know. We watched that Illinois game, and he came away with a huge offensive rebound yesterday that kept the possession alive. And, I think whether it's Kennedy or lots of other players that I thought Haley Weaver gave us just a major spark with offensive rebounds. Those kids, Haley and Kennedy in particular, have the opportunity to have free reign at offensive boards because we ask them to pick up the ball in the backcourt. So that gives them a little more freedom to go crash the boards. And so, I'm not saying that that's going to be Kennedy's forte, but it's great to see a couple hustle plays there.
We challenged them at halftime, and I thought our guys responded beautifully coming out of the locker room and got the lead back and ended up getting momentum and then just continued to withstand runs. And we could not shut them off in the second half. Stojakovic was unbelievable, getting to the rim, running isos for him, baseline out of bounds. I was hoping we wouldn't have many more of those because he was scoring it every time. But then we found a way to get a couple big stops, and we never panicked. And that's a credit to our guys for the first time for us playing on the road in a hostile environment. This is one of the great crowds in the country, and they were into it big time. Brad Underwood is as good a coach as any in the country, and our guys just kept going, and they showed great resiliency. They never, they never had their heads down in huddles. They had great body language, and we just kept going out there. But to play in this type of environment for the first time and withstand all the runs that they threw at us and find a way for Jamarcus. Last play, Robin, we drew up, it was either Sam or Jamarcus, whoever Boswell wasn't guarding.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. I want to say thank you one more time to Lexi Rodriguez for joining us. I think that was supposed to be a 15-minute interview. We only tripled it. It's fine.
You think Austin and Rico
We're
these idiots?
We're really, really good at saying
probably say that anyway.
We're really, really good at staying on the clock. Well, we are really good at
She's
though.
just fascinating.
No, it was. I mean, I'm glad she was gracious enough with her time to give us that opportunity because there was so much in there, and I do think it's important. Obviously, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Hurrdat Sports is partnering with SheSports. Like I'm not gonna pretend like we're not involved, but there's a reason we're involved, right? Like we believe in what they're doing and in the vision that Lexi had for this. And, if you listen to the show at all, the amount that we talk about mental health, the amount that we
as a host.
Yeah, the amount that we talk about the mentality of athletes and, the resolve and the resiliency and what all goes into it outside of the physical, right? We get real philosophical on this show, especially for a sports show. And
Is that what we do?
Allegedly.
I still want to go back to the joke with Wyatt, but carry on.
But I think it's a really cool thing, and it was important to me to get the why from Lexi on why this was important to her and why doing this was her next move. Because, like you said, like she would have had a lot of options to kind of do maybe her 0.01% thing over here or whatever else it was. Obviously, she's still playing professional volleyball.
You're well aware of the accolades.
100%, yes. That's what I also wanted to make sure that I was like, okay, maybe she's in a different level than you, no offense, but you're in a different level than the rest of us still, okay? So, if she's the 99.99 or the 0.0001, you're like the one, and then there's the rest of us still.
I
mean,
8 to 18
is the platform. The accessing of athletes and just the platform in general. If it would have been around a little bit earlier for everybody, just imagine me being, I don't know, 12-year-old me that was in love with Roger Craig, right?
Yeah.
Instead of, there would be some things I would want to emulate,
sure,
right? Maybe it was the running style or wearing 21 or whatever, but just to talk to him about why I'm so fascinated in talking to him now, right? Where I can say, hey man, happy birthday. How's business going? Or when you coming back to it's cool for me is when I started doing that with him at 40 or whenever I was versus 12 or 13, or to be able to talk to
where it could have changed how you operated. Yeah.
Right? Or Mike Rozier or Turner Gill, right?
Sure.
I wanted to be a black quarterback for 17 years.
Yeah.
Traumatized over it in high school, right? Just having the ability, the position change, right?
Yeah, having the ability to talk to somebody or
just,
having
or ask Turner Gill or Sean Buchanan or somebody, the guys that I admire, and say, hey, what's playing collegiate baseball like?
Yeah.
Versus, can you imagine how that would change? Now, it maybe would have changed. I'm not a big butterfly effect guy.
Sure.
At least I would have had the information.
Yeah, but hey, is it plausible to do both? Is that something I should even be thinking about? Should I make a decision?
It would have saved me from. It could have potentially saved me, you guys. I just want, this is important.
Yeah.
Right. Because I spiraled so bad as a freshman.
Yeah.
I was destructive and,
because you kind of felt forced into decisions.
Some bad habits where I felt like these people weren't being honest with. I'm telling you, it was a miserable. My first 2 years were a miserable experience, not being able to handle the whole baseball versus football thing, especially coming off what I changed positions for in high school.
Yeah,
in football, it certainly wasn't for this. That's what I was thinking at the time.
Yeah.
And just to not be able to process through that, or where somebody could have said, "Hey, you know what, DB? It's going to be really hard for Coach Sanders and Coach Osborne to get or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Right? Just give me some insight,
so you know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
right.
I could talk to Paul Meyer and be like, "Hey, is this doable?"
Yeah. Or do I need to know going in? It's probably not happening.
It would have
helped.
Yeah.
knowing the circumstances that you're getting yourself into help a ton. Whether it changes anything or not, again, expectations can be really, really positive or really, really negative.
Listen, Jack Stark is one of my best friends to this day. Just sent me a message a couple weeks ago. And I maybe wouldn't have met him. So that's the butterfly effect.
Yeah. But still, maybe you would have met someone like him. There's mental health experts on the app.
Yeah.
Maybe you would have met someone like him through this other process, right?
My parents aren't coming to bail me out, right?
Yeah.
I think there's somebody you ought to talk to.
Again?
I come by it, honestly.
Yeah. It's so that's why we had Lexi on. I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's a great idea that she's had, and we're excited to be a part of it, and excited that she let DB nerd out on volleyball for a little bit there.
So how about you got a chance to see her IQ though?
Oh yeah. Super bright. Like I'd never talked to her before. I'd never interviewed before, so that was super.
Of course, I'm a press conference nerd, and I watch a lot of volleyball, so I just wanted to see what was behind there.
Yeah. No, super impressed. Like I said,
she gave me a little leeway to tap
ask,
in there,
you know,
and just seamless.
Yes, yeah.
So you can imagine how she'd be like with other athletes on the platform.
And I do appreciate. I understand we're not necessarily, especially when you're in here in person and you can see how squirrely we are.
Yeah.
I understand we're not the easiest or most traditional interview that people generally do. So I do appreciate her ability just to kind of roll with it and be like, all right, I guess these guys are weird. We're just going to do this.
It is what it is.
Yeah, she handled it really nice. Way better than I handle it. When you guys ask me questions.
And you're used to it. You like freeze up.
I say you're here every day.
Like I'm here so I don't get fined.
Hey, you need to take care of your mentals. That's what I tell people. Take care of your mentals.
And then you got to take care.
That's not what I tell people. That's what Marshawn Lynch would tell people.
And then you got to take care of your chickens.
that too.
Look at all these chickens.
You know, it's like I was a huge Lindsey Krause fan.
Yeah.
Right. Watched her in middle school and high. Just imagine if she could access, like as a ninth grader or a 10th grader or an 11th grader, like just to set the stage for what the expectation level is like heading into college.
Well, and now people can
I have a weird affinity for Lindsey, right?
You do,
it's
yeah.
Like,
you do, yeah.
Because I just know the cross. I think potential generational talents bear at a young age. That's why I'm like. It's the only reason until the last probably 6-7 years why I came around on LeBron. Now I'm back out. He talks too much again, but like he had been such a good ambassador for what he was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will always give him credit for. Is he almost
answered the prodigy dinner bell.
It's almost impossible to, and he's probably the only one that's really done it. To have that level of expectations and not only meet them or like for what he would have had to have done to exceed expectations, I could argue he has, and that's unreal, right? He was literally called the chosen one at 16 years old, but also to not really have any public missteps, right? He's never been in trouble with the law, doesn't have any big scandals out there. Like he's never, even Jordan, had gambling scandals real time, had rumors of affairs, had whatever, like alleged all these things. LeBron, the worst thing LeBron's ever done.
No, careful, because I may have an opinion on it.
In the worst,
I'll let you.
The worst public thing LeBron's ever done that we know about is the decision.
Not one, not two.
And yeah, that whole thing, right? And even that, right? I think people forget this. In that horrible PR mistake, still ended up donating $2 million to a Boys and Girls Club in the process of that. We forget about that part of it, right?
I get you.
So he did it at a Boys and Girls Club, and it raised $2 million for him. So, like, even the worst thing that we think he's ever done was largely a net positive, you know?
Got the desired outcome.
So I look at it and I go, that's the thing I can never take away from LeBron. Even like aesthetically, I don't love his game. I think he's super corny cheese ball. Like he's not my guy. Right. But I will never take away the fact that how hard what he's pulled off actually is. And we're seeing it obviously not to the same level, but we're seeing how hard it is right now with the quarterback position at Nebraska. We're seeing it with a guy like DJ Lagway. Like even guys that are anointed on a year-to-year basis and not an all-time generational basis, it's really hard for them too. So to be able to do that as a LeBron is unbelievable, because we see how hard it is, and we've seen how hard it is the last 2 years to be able to do it just on a local year-by-year level with a guy like Dylan. It's really, really hard. And I don't know if people appreciate that. I also don't know if we think about it in volleyball the way we do in other sports sometimes. But like you talk about a Lexi, you talk about a Harper, you talk about an Andy Jackson, pick someone, right? You're talking about all of these anointed people. And maybe because there's so many of them, it makes it a little easier.
I would like to figure out how it is that in the volleyball world, they don't seem to miss.
That was a great point. Like the hit rate seems off the charts.
Yeah, it's incredible in volleyball.
Because in no other,
and they peg it early.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking what, like 14?
Yeah,
on a lot of them.
So I'm just like, what is it?
I don't know, but if we could find some of that in football, that'd be awesome.
Here you go.
That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. We got Dan Wolken from Yahoo Sports, talk a little football, coming up next.
Well, she's watching Sam Hoiberg. I mean, I don't know. We watched that Illinois game, and he came away with a huge offensive rebound yesterday that kept the possession alive. And, I think whether it's Kennedy or lots of other players that I thought Haley Weaver gave us just a major spark with offensive rebounds. Those kids, Haley and Kennedy in particular, have the opportunity to have free reign at offensive boards because we ask them to pick up the ball in the backcourt. So that gives them a little more freedom to go crash the boards. And so, I'm not saying that that's going to be Kennedy's forte, but it's great to see a couple hustle plays there.
We challenged them at halftime, and I thought our guys responded beautifully coming out of the locker room and got the lead back and ended up getting momentum and then just continued to withstand runs. And we could not shut them off in the second half. Stojakovic was unbelievable, getting to the rim, running isos for him, baseline out of bounds. I was hoping we wouldn't have many more of those because he was scoring it every time. But then we found a way to get a couple big stops, and we never panicked. And that's a credit to our guys for the first time for us playing on the road in a hostile environment. This is one of the great crowds in the country, and they were into it big time. Brad Underwood is as good a coach as any in the country, and our guys just kept going, and they showed great resiliency. They never, they never had their heads down in huddles. They had great body language, and we just kept going out there. But to play in this type of environment for the first time and withstand all the runs that they threw at us and find a way for Jamarcus. Last play, Robin, we drew up, it was either Sam or Jamarcus, whoever Boswell wasn't guarding.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
with time. Oh, what an interception by Roberts! and complete. What a defensive play. This time by Hardy. 7-yarder. Good from 30 yards already today. No good. They go to a trick play. Taylor threw it back to Mars. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Luke Burgott.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Dan Wolken from Yahoo Sports, their college sports columnist. We're going to focus on college football today,
be hard.
Dan.
He's good.
How are we doing this morning, Dan? Thank you for joining us.
Yo, I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh, we're trying to make it. We are trying to make it. This is going to be hard to be disciplined because this is not what this show is. But if I sneak in some other college sports questions, will you give me a little grace?
You guys can do whatever you want. I'm here for you.
I appreciate it.
Well, I'm going to start with college football because that's what I signed up for. Dan, I am curious because full disclosure, I love coaching searches. I just find them fascinating. I find the process and what people are looking for and what people think is a fit for their institution really, really interesting. And so Michigan is one of the more interesting ones we've come across in a while. Obviously, you've got one of the big name blue blood schools in a very strange situation, a lot of their own making, but some obviously in circumstances they've been put in by people they've hired. But as you look at this, is there a clear path forward for them at this point in terms of hiring the caliber of coach we would normally associate with that job?
It's murky for two reasons. The first being that the timing is terrible, which is why all of these conspiracy theories that you've heard about, they waited until after signing day, or they did this, or they did that, they don't really hold water for me, because if you were trying to hire a coach, this is like one of the least convenient times to do it. You'd have made that move like right after the Ohio State game. The other part of it is that we don't really know who the athletic director is going to be. I mean, Ward Manuel is leading the search, but there's also this active investigation happening that is delving deeper into the culture of Michigan athletics. We know all of the scandals that have happened on his watch over the last many years. And I feel, again, this is not me saying I know what's going to happen, but the feeling I get is that Michigan is ultimately going to have to move on from him. So you're hiring a coach, not knowing who the athletic director is going to be. That's always a bit of an issue. So, yeah, like, it's not going to be easy. It's also not easy anyway to hire somebody, because if you're Michigan, you're generally wanting to get somebody else's head coach. But more and more, it's hard to hire other people's head coach. Just look at what happened with the Penn State search, and they had 50 days to figure it out, okay? So that all leads me to say, like, if I had to guess right now, I would say probably Jed Fish. Is Jed Fish good? Yeah, he's fine. Like, he's a pretty good coach. Is he like a slam dunk to succeed at Michigan? No. But I will also say this, and this is way too long of an answer for you, but the way things are set up now in college sports, especially at a program like Michigan, they've got the infrastructure with their NIL stuff to have good players, to have good rosters. And I think the bar for head coaching competency doesn't need to be like Urban Meyer at Michigan. It can be well short of that and still be a very good result.
True or false? Michigan would be better off letting Biff Poggi have the interim year, take a beat, hire an AD, and then try again next year when they're at the front of the coaching cycle rather than the back end.
Did you see Biff Poggi as a head coach at Charlotte?
No, but I saw him as one at Nebraska earlier this year.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you got me there. I can't lie. Yeah, like, I wouldn't do that personally. I understand the case for it, but like, then what happens if he goes like, 9-3 somehow, or 10-2, lucks into getting into the playoff or whatever? Then you've got to hire him for the next 5. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm out on Biff Poggi. I saw the act at Charlotte. I wasn't impressed. For me, that's a no.
Dan, let me ask you something. I'll give you a chance to elaborate on both. But if you could fix one first as a fan of college football, would you, maybe do like a February signing day, a May portal, like change the calendar, or have had uniformity in place amongst the conferences before you expanded the playoffs?
It's an interesting question. Look, I don't know that you need uniformity to make this thing work. I really don't think that's necessarily the highest priority, because you're never going to get uniformity. The leagues are just all very different. They have different needs, different players, different perspectives, different commissioners running them. It sounds good to say that. I just don't think it's really practical, and I'm not sure what more that would give the playoff that it doesn't already have. The calendar's a real issue. Like that's a big problem, and it goes beyond just the signing. It goes beyond just the signing day. I also think when you're looking at the college football playoff and how deep it extends now into January, I think they're cutting off their nose to spite their face with this thing. I think they need to, let's just say they're going to expand it to 16, because we all know that's what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to start the week after the conference championship games. Like, it just has to, or else this thing doesn't really work. And then maybe you take a week off, get this thing done as close to New Year's as possible. Then you open the transfer portal. Then you do recruiting. It's like everyone always talks about how in the NBA, it's backwards, where you have to do the draft first and then free agency. Like, how can you know what you need to draft before you know how free agency is going to turn out? I think in some ways it's the same in college football, because the ordering you'd want is coaching carousel, transfer portal, recruiting. I think that's very clear.
So were you like level of surprise that you have the portal date before the season's even done? Is that where you would start first, or would it be the part where you start the playoffs? Because I don't see how you can have a December or January port, maybe late January, but why not just put it after spring ball?
Well, because it's all tied to the academic calendar, and I understand. Like,
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the schools are on semesters, now, again, can somebody transfer in February? Like, I don't know the inner workings enough of the academic world to sort of know how to figure all that out. It seems people do things however they want to do them, and that's fine. But, I just feel like they're very much guided by what the lawyers tell them and what they think they can do without being sued to the moon and back. So that is part of the discussion as well, like it or not. And it's certainly why the NCAA is so eager to try to get something done in Congress that protects them from a lot of these lawsuits and gives them the ability to enforce their own rules. But you also have coaches who want to get those transfers in before spring ball, so that they can have practice. They can have practice so that they can learn the system, blah, blah, blah. These are all tough conversations, and there's trade-offs to every different way to do it.
Talking with Dan Wolken from Yahoo Sports. Dan, let's get to the actual playoff, because I kind of look at this field and I can't decide how many teams I think can win a national championship, because it sort of feels like I'm not sure anyone necessarily feels really good in my mind. When you look at this field, how deep do you have to get before you say, yeah, I don't think that team can win it all?
Probably. I mean, honestly, I think 5 is the maximum. Like, you start to look at number 6, Ole Miss on down. I don't think those teams can win the thing. Do you? It doesn't seem realistic to me.
So, like, Bama, Oklahoma are out?
Oh, no way. No
okay.
way. I mean, you can, freezing cold take me on this, but Oklahoma, no chance. if Oklahoma wins a national championship, I will go vegan for 2026. There's just not. It's just not. That's not happening. Alabama's not good enough. They played terribly down the stretch. Alabama is not Ohio State from a year ago. I just think you get from Ole Miss on down in this thing. I just don't see it. And even Oregon, I think, is a bit of a stretch.
So no A&M for you either?
No. They're I like A&M, good team, but I thought you saw in that Texas game, they got exposed a little bit. They have not played a very good schedule this year, and they had some very uneven performances. Now, maybe they come out with a little more vigor with a long break and maybe time to heal up and stuff, but defensively, they're just kind of okay. I don't see A&M doing much damage at this.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said you're not even sure about Oregon. I've called them interesting all year because they always it seems like they always leave a little bit of a meat on the bone or kind of play with their food. Yep. But then over time, maybe they haven't been healthy. So I do want to acknowledge that offensively, but they always seem kind of jointed, right? They have these quick, crazy kind of ebb and flow games. If they're going to hang their hat on something, in your opinion, Dan, what would it be? Would it be the defensive front? Where would you start if you were going to make the case that Oregon could win 3 games?
Yeah, you certainly go to the line of scrimmage where they're very good. They've built that team from the inside out, which is the right way to do it for sure. And you have to what they've gotten this year from their quarterback. But yeah, they do just leave a little bit to be desired. And we saw them, in that game against Indiana, and they got beaten up pretty good in that game. And you just sort of look at it and say, they're at home. They can't beat Indiana. How are they going to beat an Ohio State? How are they going to beat a, it'll be interesting, even Texas Tech. Texas Tech, they would be slated to play in the Orange Bowl. Certainly Oregon could win that game. Mm-hmm. But Texas Tech's defense is very real. And that front is extremely disruptive. And, honestly, I'm not sure they played a team like Texas Tech this year. So, I think Texas Tech wins that game, personally. But, you never know. It could be the opposite of last year for them where, they come into the playoff and they just sort of laid an egg. Maybe this year they understand a little bit better the rhythm of how to prepare and take that time off and be ready to go, right away. And of course, they're going to get sort of a nice little warm-up home game against James Madison. Maybe that gets them on a roll. That's sort of the way you'd think of it if they are to make a run.
Dan, so you brought up Texas Tech there, and I want to throw Indiana into this question as well. I know those are 2 very different teams, but in my head, they're connected because they're not teams that I would traditionally say, hey, I think that's a favorite to win a college football playoff or a national championship. So I guess I'm just curious from your standpoint, with Indiana and Texas Tech specifically, how long did it take you to get past their names to be like, oh, no, these might be the 2 best teams in college football?
Well, when I saw the Oregon game, I think you do have to, even if you're an Indiana skeptic, kind of tip the cap and say, okay, we can't deny what we just saw. Mm-hmm. And then they've kept doing it, and they've kept performing, and then they do it again in the Big Ten championship. Look, I don't think they're as good as Ohio State. I really don't. And Ohio State, coming off that high of that Michigan win, maybe didn't really care quite as much about that Big Ten championship game. I don't think they were as sharp. And I think it meant a lot more to Indiana. And, having said all that, it comes down to a missed chip shot field goal. And I think if they played again on a neutral field, I would like Ohio State's chances to win. But Indiana's very much I think they should be in the championship game, probably based on the draw and what we've seen from them all year long. And, Texas Tech, I felt early on that they were real in the sense that they were the best team clearly in the Big 12, but they aren't the most well-oiled machine offensively. And I just always have looked at them as a team nobody really is going to want to play them. They could win a game in the playoff. They could win 2 games maybe in the playoff. But at some point, they're going to run into somebody that is able to score some points, and they're just going to get behind, and they're not going to have the playmaking ability to really keep up. And that's just sort of how I feel about them.
Let me ask you, let me go back to Indiana and the fascination there. Sometimes I always felt like a lot of coaches are the victim of Cignetti's success, and we've studied him a ton, and I was one of these dorks that was super enamored coming back from Big Ten Media Days. When we first got to see him a couple of years ago, he was doing a side interview with Adam Rittenberg, and I know Adam, and he's kind of motioned me over, and I'm just listening to him, and I came back and I told my partner, I said, gosh, this guy is super interesting, just super pragmatic, confident, and the rest is history, right? Do you lose fascination with him because he is one of one, a unicorn in terms of how he's done it, or are you more fascinated with him because he is one of one and is a unicorn?
Well, I think we should all be really fascinated with what we're seeing, because it's really never been done like this in college football before. To have this quick and this dramatic of a turnaround of a program that was just completely at the bottom of college football for so many years. And I don't think we maybe quite grasp the enormity of that and grasp like what exactly happened. It's one thing he was on 60 Minutes, last weekend. I don't know if you guys saw that. And, he's talking about, okay, well, when I got here, I detected, a whiff of defeatism and people saying you can't get it done. And, and I just don't accept that. And like, it can't just be just like you walk into a room or walk into a university and make people believe and have an attitude, and then boom, you're winning football games and beating Ohio State. Like that can't just be the story. It's got to be a lot more than that, right? Like, so, because anyone can sort of have that attitude walking into a job. Like, it's not. So I still don't think we have anyone has quite put our finger on like what actually happened here. But whatever it is pretty incredible.
So sticking on Cignetti here for a minute, we've talked a lot about, obviously, Nebraska is a place that's struggled to find the success that that most people think around here, at least, that they deserve to have. How much do you think the lack of expectations can actually work for a coach, whether it's Cignetti or some of these other places that don't have kind of the weight of their own history? Because around here, just being honest, a lot of times it feels like the expectations of what Nebraska, quote unquote, should be is as detrimental as it is helpful.
And not that we have any case studies of the last 5 head coaches here, Dan. It's kind of anecdotally.
No, I get that. And I think that's a very fair point. And there is that sort of dread that seeps in when something happens. And that's very real. And it does impact, I think, a lot of ways how coaches act and the decisions they make and all of those things. And maybe the secret sauce for Cignetti is he just doesn't really care about any of that, and he's not playing to any crowd and whatever. And so he's just doing it the way he thinks it should be done, and like that's fine. But it's also interesting in that I just assumed coming into this season, okay, yeah, Indiana's probably going to be good again, but like they're not going to be as good as they were last year, because last year nobody saw them coming. People didn't necessarily take them seriously. This year they're going to come back and have the target on their back, and everyone's going to get up for that game. And it's going to be just a totally different deal for them this year than it was last year. And I mean, I was just wrong about that. Like, it's just totally not the way it's happened. They've cranked it up 3 more levels. And so, I mean, all you can do is just like tip your cap and try to figure out what they did and how to replicate it. But I'm not sure that's possible, because if it was easy, I think we'd have seen it before now.
Let me ask you, kind of these young, not young up and comers, obviously, because I'll use Kiffin as an example, and it doesn't have to be to the negative, but who's furthest away from what you think the national narrative or national perception is of their coaching prowess? Lane Kiffin, Dan Lanning, or Caleb DeBoer?
Wow. I mean, look, I think Lanning is really, really good in terms of understanding like where the sport is at, where young people are at, where the recruiting aspect is going, and building everything in the program optimally toward what wins in 2025. And obviously he learned a lot of that from Kirby Smart, who came in to Georgia a decade ago and kind of did the same thing. Lanning, game day Lanning, I have some quibbles with sometimes in terms of, the way he makes decisions or clock management, and some of the risks they take that I'm not sure I quite understand the math on it. But I think, I think with all those guys, like, I think to me, even though Oregon was already very good, I think he's done the most impressive job of sort of building the right kind of team and the right kind of apparatus that can make a place like Oregon into a true staying power at the top of the sport.
Do you think Lane Kiffin's a coach that needs? We were talking about expectations on the job and what he was able to do in Oxford, and he just seemed to be so comfortable. We've seen Baton Rouge eat up and spit out a lot of coaches. Do you think do you like him with expectations?
Well, it's going to be really, really interesting to watch how it goes. And I'm sure he's going to get great players. I'm sure they're going to win. But that job is a political monster. He is very much, I think, going to learn and understand that they're not going to leave you alone there the way they did at Ole Miss in a lot of ways. And he's going to have to do a lot of stuff he's not comfortable doing. I mean, just imagine being at an event and having to make small talk with Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine what that's like. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And yet he's going to have to do that, especially like in the state capitol where all the funding and all the power brokers live and are there all the time. That's going to be his life in a way it wasn't at Ole Miss, and how he deals with that, how he navigates it is going to make that just marginal difference between being good and being the kind of LSU program that maybe he envisions in his mind competing for national championships every year.
I want to play a quick little word association with four coaches in particular that kind of have a perception about him. It's whatever. I'll let you quantify it. You're the smarter of the two. Just look kind of rapid fire. You can give like a brief little deal. Lincoln Riley.
Bad brisket.
I think that was
the
answer.
You sound like Southern Cal's fan base.
I think that was the answer.
For a guy that wins a lot, it's amazing how you guys think of him. Oh, I was fat. That was the one I wanted to start with first. Go ahead. Carry on, Dan.
Well, the bad brisket is iconic. Look, early in his tenure at USC, like, it was very much reminiscent of what happened at Oklahoma, where you're just watching them play and you're like, why aren't they physical? Why can't they hit? Why can't they tackle? And, and it's like, it's a whole thing with his strength coach and, the plyometrics and all the stuff that they're doing to emphasize like flexibility and, quick twitch as opposed to like brute force, which at the end of the day, football is still a brute force kind of game. And it's gotten better, but Lincoln's a good coach and certainly he's had success, but I think it's been a disappointment.
Mike Elko.
Relentless competence. Just super together, super understanding, the guy with the pen, super smart, understands emotionally, intellectually, everything going on. I'm a big fan.
James Franklin.
Phony.
Really?
Oh, I think he's a complete phony. He's a very good coach. But like, listen to the way he talks. Does anyone talk that way? Like, just in normal conversation?
Oh, that's too much. I got distracted. All right, Brian Kelly.
Halfway into retirement, like he took that LSU job. And instead of stepping on the gas, which is what I think people expected, and why, like, the reason why he would have left Notre Dame to take that job, and he just kind of like checked out a little bit, and didn't really understand what the job was and what it required, and who the power brokers were, and that could help him with players, and there were all these more than rumors, but a lot of talk about just how much time he was spending, at his beach house and on the golf course and blah blah blah. Like, I just didn't understand what that hire was all about, and he didn't do anything with it.
Two more. Jeff Brom.
Very low key, but very good. I mean, like, does a good job that you're almost never going to notice.
Could he be someplace with high expectations?
Well, I just think, like, I think he's where he should be, because
okay.
I think he recognizes this. Like, you put him at a Florida, you put him at that level of job, the public facing side of it, the non-football side of it, the sort of relentless microscope you're under. I'm probably not a fit for him.
I'm almost terrified to ask about this guy, but Sarkisian.
Look, I like Sark. Like, I think it's hard not to like Sark. Like, he's a pretty likable guy, in general, right? And I think he's done a good job at Texas. That is a tougher situation, I think, than most people understand, even though they have the best of everything. He's done better at Texas, actually, than I thought he would. I guess that's what I would say. He's done a much better job than I expected coming out of his sort of disastrous, like, NFL situation.
Can I sneak in one more?
Go ahead.
Kalen DeBoer.
I think maybe misunderstood a little bit. Like, it's been amusing to me that everyone is, during this coaching carousel, has been like, you got to get out of Bama. He wants to leave. He doesn't know what he signed up for. Like, I mean, to believe that, you'd have to assume he's stupid. Everyone understood what the Alabama job was going to be immediately after Nick Saban, and that it wasn't, that the sport was going to be different. That the expectations were going to be crazy. It wasn't going to be a walk in the park. Like, I think he's been fine. I wouldn't say he's been amazing at Alabama, but he's been fine. He's been pretty good. And I just don't believe that he got that job and then 2 years later he's like, oh, I got to get out of here. I got to go to Michigan because it's going to be so much better at Michigan. Or I got to go to Penn State. Like, I think that's a little bit of a false narrative. Now, ultimately, in the long run, it may not work out. He may, we may be in year 4 and he hasn't really made a playoff run or hasn't won the SEC. And it's just like, well, we tried and it didn't work. But I think people sort of misunderstood why he took that job and sort of where his head's at.
All right, Dan, I will get you out of here on this. The way I define the best jobs in college football is their ability to realistically meet the expectations that they have at that program. Under my definition, what do you think the best job in college football is?
Well, I think it's Ohio State. Like, the expectations are crazy, but when has Ohio State ever been bad? They're never bad. Like, they've had one bad season here and there, not very many.
I mean, maybe John Cooper, and he was pretty good. You're right. That's interesting.
I mean, look at the history of their program. Like, they've never had a dip. They've never had a stretch of 3-4 years where they're just bad. And every other major program in power has had that. And they haven't. And I think it's a testament to their infrastructure and the way they dominate, the state and the region in recruiting and a lot. And it's not like they've been perfect from an administrative standpoint either. But they're always good. And I think so. I think I kind of have to say they're the best job.
There you go. That is Dan Wolken from Yahoo Sports. Dan, appreciate the time, and hopefully we will catch up again soon. And we'll stretch you with some basketball next time, I promise.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, D.
That's Dan Wolken from Yahoo Sports. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Kevin Sweeney, talk a little college basketball from Sports Illustrated. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I mean, I think it started with our serving and passing, and I don't want to like mispronounce her name, but number one, their middle, like she's a great serve, and she caught us on that for that run. So, I mean, I think we worked all season on being first to 5, first to 10, first to 15, and so on, and we weren't able to do that with her serve. And I mean, credit to her, she's a great serve. So, I mean, yeah, like we really take pride in serve and pass, but I think it caught us up a few times. Oh God, I mean, in moments like that, I feel like most of us probably aren't even thinking, like we're just going back to the basics, and we're all hyper competitive, and I've never actually been in a situation like that with going that far. So, I mean, it's hard, but at the end of the day, like whoever was going to win that set had more will, and obviously they took it in the 5th, but I think that set showed that we weren't going to just let them take it from us on our home court and in our gym. And it obviously didn't turn out the way we wanted, but I think we showed a lot of fight, and that's something to be proud of.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Kevin Sweeney. He covers college basketball for SI Now. What's going on, Kevin? How are we doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Really, really good. Appreciate your time. Kevin, we've been talking about this for a little while now. Are you more impressed with, or are they related to the number of good freshmen, or probably the double-digit, well, I won't even assume how many teams you think can win a national championship, the versatility of teams at the top to position themselves to make a Final Four run, at least early on?
I think the freshman stuff has probably wowed me the most, just from this perspective of I knew that the top 3 to 5 guys would be really good, but watching the continued emergence of, some of these guys that were a little less recruited has been really fun. I mean, Keaton Wagler at Illinois was the 150th ranked recruit in the class, and he's averaging like 17 points and 7 assists per game in his last 3. And Kingston Flemings at Houston was projected to be a multi-year guy. Now he might be a top 5 pick. It's been fun to watch.
So as you look at these freshmen, obviously the top group, like you said, was really, really highly touted. Has one of them separated themselves for you? We've seen some amazing performances from Boozer and Pete and DeBonsa. Like, has there been one of that very top group that you're just like, holy cow?
Or is that your top group?
I'll say, or who is your top group if I'm giving you bad names?
No, that is my top three. I don't know from a draft perspective that anyone has separated themselves. I do think if I was picking, I would probably take Darren Peterson because I think his ceiling as like an on-ball scoring combo guard is kind of exactly what the NBA wants. But at the same time, like from a college perspective, at some point we can't ignore that Cam Boozer has been the best of the bunch everywhere he's been. College, high school, AAU, USA basketball. He's always risen above. And so I think, from an NBA side, like someone's going to have to sit there and say, like, are we really going to pass on the guy who's been better at every step? And that's going to be really hard for whatever GM has that number one pick.
My co-host doesn't like Cam Boozer. He'd like to add something here.
That's not true. That's not. I didn't. I'm just telling you. I'm an AAU honk. I didn't see 24 a night and his offensive versatility. I mean, they're like running pick and pops with this guy. So I didn't see the offensive onslaught this early on. I knew he was good, like really good. Did you pencil him in for 24 a night?
I thought he would score. I agree with you that the versatility of his offensive game has really expanded. And it's a credit to him because I think it's so hard for guys that can physically dominate around the rim to develop some of those softer skills. And I think he's done a phenomenal job of that. And I give credit to Duke as well. I mean, what they did with Cooper Flagg last year was similar in that regard, right? Like put the ball in his hands early, gave him opportunities to expand his offensive game as a playmaker, as a guy who can make perimeter shots. And, I think you saw the growth from him throughout the season. That was really cool. Cam was probably even more game ready than Cooper was. And I think the scariest part is that there probably is still another gear that he can hit this season. Even just seeing his growth as a finisher and some of the stuff he's been doing around the basket from November 10th to December 10th has been impressive.
Relatively speaking, he may be flying under the radar, but I want to give you a chance to talk about his team too, because they aren't, and I like him. How about Brown Jr. at Louisville relative to what you think this team is capable of?
I mean, he's almost the perfect point guard for Pat Kelsey because he wants to play with such pace. He plays with incredible freedom that Kelsey gives him. I think the scary thing with Michael Brown is that he hasn't shot it great. He's at 27% of the season, but he's someone that can absolutely torch the nets when he's hot. And we saw it this summer with USA basketball, what he's capable of as a shooter. And so, I think if this Louisville team is really, really talented and they've only shot it well, they haven't shot it at the elite level I think they're capable of yet. I think that's probably the scary thing if you're matching up with the Cardinals anytime soon.
I want to ask you to that point. They play a certain way, right? They're going to get their threes up. It's how much of what you look at him play do you think, well, if you can get to any spot on the floor, just get an easier shot. Do you correlate shot selection with his efficiency in terms of actually shooting the basketball?
Yeah, look, I think it's a fair question. I also think it's a good example of, where maybe some of the freedom that Louisville gives their guys maybe hurting at times, because I think there's a level for him that like understand athletically that you have an opportunity to get to him. And I think part of that's like Michael Brown was 5'10" as a sophomore in high school. He hit this growth spurt late to get to 6'4" or 6'5", and is still very much growing into his body. And I think that's part of the reason he's been on such a incredible upward trajectory. And so I think the opposite end of that is, understanding how to use that frame and play with like an extra level of physicality that I think he will get to one day. Right now, I think he does probably settle a little bit at the moment.
So I want to ask you a little bigger picture with some of the teams we've seen so far. We're about a third of the way through the season for everybody. Who has outperformed your preseason expectations of them the most? Michigan, Gonzaga, Iowa State, or Arizona?
It's a great question. I think Iowa State probably surprises me the most just because I didn't see the offensive explosion coming. And part of that, like, I think we're all victim to this now. Like, the portalification of the college basketball offseason. Everything is all about what did you add? What did you add? What did you add? We don't think enough about like what can guys grow internally and do. And Iowa State's a great example. Like, yeah, they went and got a key portal guy to solidify their front court and a really good freshman who's been phenomenal defensively. But like their offensive boom has been internal improvement and Josh Jefferson and Milan Momcilovic taking huge steps. And so I'm not sure I saw that coming. And that to me is probably the biggest. But I thought Iowa State would be really good. I don't think I saw them as a team with the ceiling that this group seems to have.
It's really funny to me how quickly, and you just brought it up there, how quickly the sport changed from what are you bringing back to what did you bring in, right? Like it was like 3 years ago when every like preseason.
Well, we were crying about college basketball that Ron and Dunn, it was ruining the game.
Yeah, and it was
it was a bad product.
Sure, and I think it's much better now, but it was even post, I feel like, transfer portal kind of era starting where it went from what have you brought back to what have you brought in, and that mentality shift is actually really interesting to me.
Yeah, and look, I still think you can build elite teams in the portal. I mean, Michigan is probably the best example of that. They're absolutely loaded and got the right kind of guys that had won at previous stops and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's actually great for college basketball that teams like Iowa State and Purdue are as good as they are because you get a great balance of like, yes, you can build it internally if you want to. You can go be Michigan and try to hunt the portal and do that at an elite level. You can build with freshmen like Duke is. Like there are different ways to build elite teams. There's not one recipe. I think that's great for the sport's long-term health.
So I'll go 1A, and 2. The three best halves of basketball that I've seen this year. One is what Arizona did to Arkansas in the second half, or Alabama the other night. 1A is what Michigan did to Gonzaga in the first half, but kind of flying under the radar is what Iowa State did to Purdue in the first half. If you're kind of slotting those teams in terms of their ceiling, who do you like in that pecking order? You mentioned Michigan and their versatility. They may have the most margin for error because of the way that they can defend, but of those explosive performances, who do you like?
I think, being at two of them, I think that was the Michigan game and then the Iowa State game against Purdue. I think the Michigan game felt more overwhelming. Like the opposing team just felt so helpless. The other amazing. Two, I mean, and I give I give credit. It was absolutely astonishing to watch. Like, and again, especially the way they did it. Like Gonzaga has built maybe the best program of the last 25 years on being physical and tough and great around the basket, and they couldn't do anything. They literally could not. They could not get anywhere near the rim, and that like is a lasting image that will be hard to shed as I like fill out a bracket on Selection Sunday night.
So how do you put that against what Arizona did to Alabama in the second half? I mean, that was incredible. And they do it. They're physical. There's some similarities there too.
There definitely is. I think what was scary about Arizona is they won all these games early on, basically ignoring the 3-point shot and really lacking in true scoring production. And then here comes Braden Burries and has a phenomenal game against Alabama. He's now scored 20 or 15 plus in 4 straight. Like that's the separator with Arizona is if he is as good as he has been lately, and they now have an elite scorer to go with their elite point guard and their amazing front court with tons of physicality, they are as tough to beat as anyone in the country.
Kevin, I don't want to go all negative on you here, but who's been the most disappointing to you this year?
It's a good question. I think the easy answer for me is Kentucky, just because of the money involved and the amount they invested in that roster. Obviously, they're not a finished product yet, and we'll see what they look like when Jaden Quaintance comes back, and maybe that changes things a little bit. But not just to lose the games they've lost, but to be as uncompetitive as they've looked, that's really, really jarring to me.
All right. I'm hoping on the answer, so is our listening audience. Best story in college basketball so far been Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly as good of a story as it gets. Really impressed with them. The way I think Rink Mass individually is like one of the best stories in the country, and the way he's come back, the way he's elevated the program. I mean, he has been, he is to me maybe the most underrated and under talked about guy in college basketball right now.
So that's interesting because, you know, we would ask our local guys, like our beat writers, they would talk a lot about, you know, kind of waiting and you know, Hoiberg is transitioning. He made the run without his best player. And when Mass comes back, I'm still not sure we understood the impact of when he wasn't playing, but he clearly has leveled up since the last time we saw him. If we take the intangibles out, you got to be pretty convinced that Coach Hoiberg can do the coaching development piece thing.
Yeah, I think without question, and it's not just Mass. Like, I think when you look up and down this roster, it's guys that have consistently gotten better over their careers, which is obviously, you know, the biggest deal. I mean, I give a lot of credit to Mass himself, just from the perspective of, like, you don't come off the injury and the surgery that he had as smoothly as he has. And so that is a huge credit to him and the work he put in, both, you know, from a recovery standpoint, but also using that time productively from a skill development standpoint. And I think that's him and the whole coaching staff and everybody building an amazing plan. And probably to people that don't ever get talked about, you know, trainers, you know, athletic, you know, physical fit therapists, et cetera. Like, all of them have probably contributed to that. And I'm sure they'll get their flowers in time. But, you know, I think what to me, what's probably most impressive about Hoiberg's job this year is, you know, truly finding an identity of what he wants the program to look like and what he wants, like the types of players that will fit the way he wants to play. I think for the first time really at Nebraska, he has a team that truly looks like what he envisions for a high-level college basketball team, and the results are speaking for themselves.
Kevin, I got to go back to Kentucky here for a second, because you mentioned the investment. You mentioned kind of the disappointment there. I would argue, I know they made a Sweet 16 and where they were seeded in the NCAA tournament last year, but I would argue last year was disappointing as well. Like, we all know Mark Pope wasn't their first choice. What kind of leeway do you think he has in Lexington?
So I think they would largely perceive last year as a success, you know, given the transition, right? Like, it was late. They didn't have a roster on basically April 15th. They had no players. And
he rebuilt that thing on the fly, literally.
And to get to the Sweet 16, which was really the bugaboo with Cal, was he hadn't been to the second weekend since before COVID. I think if they had lost early, you know, maybe the perception of last year changes a little bit. So I think that does give him some leeway. I will say this, like, you know, I think what made Pope great his first year was Kentucky fans were starved for someone who understood Kentucky and was about Kentucky. And I think Cal, the criticism of Cal was that Cal was about Cal, and Cal was about NBA players who played for Cal, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's great when you're winning and when you're losing. And Mark Pope knows more than anyone else how painful it is to lose in that town. I think it's just eating at him. And now that it doesn't feel like he has all the right answers, you almost feel like he's not only pressing to figure out how to get this team right, but also like how to sell his vision again and get, you know, the fans back on board. It's such a tricky job to exist in this fishbowl that it is. And I think he struggled with that as much as he struggled with the on-court aspects of getting this team to play harder and finding creative ways to score offensively with a funky roster.
All right. So that kind of leads me into this one. And Acuff Jr. is one of those freshmen we should have talked about because he's off to a really good start. I'm not sure he'd like to shoot it a little better, but he is paired with a guy that, you know, nationally seems to come with some offensive limitations, and the expectations of what Cal brings to the table have been Herculean. He's like the James Franklin of his sport, sans the one national championship. Does the prowess match the expectation levels, and is that any easier or harder at Arkansas?
I think it's less the expectation level for him and more just needing a reset. I think he built Kentucky to a level where it felt like they always had the best players, and so every year was a disappointment when they didn't win.
It was like a referendum.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's really hard, especially over time and the amount of years you do it. I think at Arkansas, number one, he hasn't built like a truly elite team yet. I think this group is knocking on the door of that with ACUF. So I think that part's probably easier. I also think like it just allowed everybody to reset their expectations of what his team should look like. The SEC is different now, right? Like there's so many good teams in that league year in, year out in the last couple of years. The NIL has changed like the talent distribution throughout that league. It's harder to build the recruiting classes that he had pre-NIL at Kentucky. And so I think if anything, it just gave everybody a chance to take a step back and acknowledge Cal for what he is and maybe what he isn't.
Kevin, let me ask you something kind of cross sports since we talked about the portal and the NIL. Would you rather be a college basketball coach and not need as big a numbers, but maybe a smaller pool to draw from, or a college football coach, which is extremely mobile, and it seems like you can never get your arms around your personnel?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the control side of basketball and knowing that you can, if you get a couple of high-level pieces, you can sort of evaluate your way to a good roster around it. But I think the one thing with football that's probably ahead of basketball, and basketball I think we'll get there, is just the wealth of staff that are dedicated to roster building, right? Not just a GM, but really an entire personnel department. And I think basketball coaches, I mean, like head coaches are literally making significant recruiting decisions about the portal during the NCAA tournament. That I think is unique even beyond where football is with signing day and the crazy calendar.
That is Kevin Sweeney, covers college basketball for Sports Illustrated. Kevin, appreciate the time and great stuff there. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, definitely love to have you back anytime you'll have us, Kev.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the holidays.
That is Kevin Sweeney from SI. Good stuff there.
Good get, Shane.
Good job, Shane.
Go Big Red.
2 for 2 today.
Would you rather coach
Proud of
college
you.
football or college basketball?
College basketball, 100%.
It seems like college football may be the hardest job.
I think it is the
in
hardest
sports.
coaching job going right now. Just from a sheer number standpoint.
College baseball may be tough.
Hard,
too.
yeah. College baseball's always been hard, though.
Yeah, because
different reasons.
Because they had, the number restrictions, and they've always had the freedom of movement.
They've always had the freedom of movement.
College baseball has been doing
Yes.
the stashing, where's my buddy's player?
Yes, they've had
junior college thing forever.
They've had the freedom of movement forever. They've had the scholarship limit issues. They've had the coaching staff limit issues. College baseball's always been hard.
Yeah.
Always. But
College
honestly,
football is certainly more difficult than the NFL.
oh God, yeah. It's not even the same job. Like football coaching in the NFL and football coaching in college football are just not even in the same universe of what those jobs are anymore. It is honestly, being a head college football coach seems like a nightmare. On pure numbers alone.
Oh, I get it.
I mean, even when you get the roster limits down to the 105, that's double an NFL roster.
How feasible do you think it is to know all the infrastructures within the building as a head college football coach right now?
Oh, I mean, that basically would be your only job at that point, is understanding all the moving parts.
Yeah.
Right? Like Phil Snow talked about it last week, and we didn't really get to him with all the other stuff that was going on, but like Matt Rule actually is good at coaching football. He doesn't get to do any of that anymore.
Although Snow did joke with him the other day that he's actually a pretty good coach.
Yeah,
he's coaching dealing. I mean, Coach Rule's like, damn it, I miss it.
Like
that's what you get.
That's why I talk about guys like Dana or Gus Malzahn or Chip Kelly before this year or whatever. It's like I don't think those guys have any interest in going back to be a head football coach anymore. If you actually like coaching ball, being a head football coach is the last thing you want to do, because there is, and
it's a lot going on.
There's very little football involved in that job, and there's a ton of everything else, and that's why I think Coach Rule actually does like the job, because I think he actually cares more. As good as a actual football coach as he is, I think he cares more about the development of young men than he does the football.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a job he's willing to take on because his interest is not somewhere else, but it's a different facet of the job.
Yeah, Dank is right. Oh, by the way, you better win.
100%. That's the hard part, right? is I get to have very little to do with the actual football of it, and I'm still held responsible for the wins and losses.
I've never heard his voice, but I could almost hear Dank saying it.
Right?
Just
Like
because of his texting style.
That's a tough hang.
Oh.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's a tough place.
Kind of like us with Shane. Super tough.
Well, I'm not a tough hang. I'm a delight.
I'm going to need you to take care of your chickens and your mental, Shane.
I'm a joy to be around.
Heath likes this.
I was going to send you a clip, Shane, but I didn't want to be mean. So when I heard that you've seen The Godfather, right?
Yeah.
Because you did the whole 3 in one night thing.
Oh, yeah.
So you remember the scene? Shane, if I sent you something right now, how fast could you get it?
Well, I mean, it depends upon if I like it.
No, it doesn't depend on if you like it.
Just send it to him, and we'll talk through it until he says he can get it right.
So
stop.
It reminded me of
Giving
this.
that guy a runway is like.
I'm not trying to give him runway. I'm just trying to actually,
It can be a short runway. It'd be fine.
It would have to be
like
a short
running to
runway
State
for you,
College.
brother.
Wow. As you get in the tall bar.
You don't want to let him in the tall grass at all. That's a bad decision. There is a scene in The Godfather where you remember when the horse head scene, right?
Yeah.
You remember how that particular individual reacted to the horse head in their bed? Shane, I just sent it to you. Can you?
Would you rather in that culture? Would you rather get the horse head or the fish?
Oh, horse head. Horse head is a message of you better do what I want or else.
Fish means you're already.
Fish is.
Yeah, you're
like that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. So I 100% would rather get the horse.
Warning than it's over.
No pun intended, but give me the heads up. Like give me a chance to make things right before I get the fish.
How many times over the next forever will this? That's a horse head.
Is that Kent or is that Godfather?
Play them one after another. One more time with the horse head.
Okay, trying to find it here.
Jeez, you just had it.
Well, I think it has to. It doesn't have a rewind on it.
It's 9-second clip, Shane.
Yeah, but I got to re-download it.
Good Lord.
Classic.
It doesn't have rewind on it. Kent, Godfather, Kent. I'm just saying.
That sounds about the same.
As soon as I heard it, I was like,
maybe he was watching The Godfather.
maybe somebody dropped a horse head right in front of him. Maybe that's the warning from Illinois.
So I don't know if you want to wait.
Yeah.
But like usually at $100 is when I want to cash in so I can take Micah to eat.
Okay.
You want to play? How soon do you want to play guess the line at Michigan when Michigan State comes to town?
Oof. To be fair,
you weren't in the neighborhood of Illinois.
No, but I was right. Like I was wrong on the line, but I was right on the game.
Yeah.
Like my sense wasn't. I gave the answer of what I thought it should be based on how that game was going to go.
Oh, okay. I love the spin.
Listen,
I love the top.
Gotta do what you gotta do. All right.
Hey.
Now it's not my fault that Vegas was bad. That's not my fault.
I think I can tell you how it's going to go.
Wow. Or they beat Michigan State. You're gonna see them on like the 3 lines.
I'm gonna pass out.
At least he was honest.
I know. And
That's
listen,
the funniest part of the whole deal.
I
He's like, hey, I ain't gonna make it.
I'm not making fun. I've said this.
That's a great pull.
I've said this before. I love Kent. Like he is my voice of Nebraska football because that's how I used to consume the games in the 90s. So like I love Kent. So this is all in love. I just want to make that clear. I'll do whatever you want on the Michigan State
What
game
do you
when we
think
get
the
there.
line is?
I don't want to do it
Okay,
yet.
all right, we'll wait. We still got 2 in between.
We got to figure it out first. We got some time. Quit jumping ahead. Show some respect to New Hampshire. So
And
North Dakota and New Hampshire, a little bit of respect.
We were texting back and forth during the Creighton, North Dakota game.
Yeah, I know.
And you go, do you remember your infamous line?
No, I don't.
They might not be very good.
Oh, yeah. And it feels like I might have been a little bit right on that one. I don't know.
I'm like, can we and in my head as I'm reading it through the group, I'm like, can we let this kind of settle into a rotation?
I said might. Here's the problem, though, is you see that and you go, hey, let's see if we can settle into the rotation. I see that and go, oh, my God, why haven't they settled into a rotation? We're seeing the same thing. We're processing it very differently.
Well, I'm the optimist.
Yeah, listen, me too.
This all we're going to hear for the rest of the time together.
Yeah,
Well, what do you expect when you have a horse head in your bed?
I expect my producer to show any kind of restraint. I don't know. Just a little bit.
Oh.
I wish Joel Klass, producer, would have showed him some restraint yesterday and hit the pause button or hit the mute button while he was talking, but we'll get to that tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Just, I mean,
he doesn't have a lot of those. So
he's not like super hot takey.
I'll give him some grace.
But my God, was that bad?
Well, he's hearing it.
But he'll hear it from us tomorrow because I sent that to Shane this morning, so we'll have that. But that is the show for today. I do have to tell you,
did get to 2 of the 7 or 6 on the rundown.
Hey, nice, nailed it. I got
Certainly not the order.
No. If we get to anything in the rundown, like that's a bonus. The order is just
arbitrary.
Yeah, that's just for appearances. That's for optics, so people know I work once I leave here.
You got 3 great guests today. That was on the
We
rundown.
did have great guests.
The humble brag. Well done, Liquid.
Well, one of those had nothing to do with you, Shane. I just want to make sure you're aware of that.
Shout out Lexi.
Yeah, I'll say Lexi was a Sasha deal. I want to make that sure. But if you want something good this holiday season, you need to get on a Centris deal. If you're looking for your first home, they've got you covered with their My First Home program. They've got experts who know the local market and can help you every step of the way. And they have special programming, including 105% financing with no private mortgage insurance in order to get you started. Go find out more, centrisfcu.org. Subject to credit approval, terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back. Oh, did they win yesterday? I missed that. Oh, sorry. The show's over. We'll be back tomorrow. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.